You were tuned in to episode 106. Yes, I said it. Episode 106 of the Goodfellas podcast. It's your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru in the building. Got to shout out the team before I get started. Big shout out to VP Shane, also known as Ice Cold Shane. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to BoxingFirstVlog, also known as the Blunt, the General, Mr. 1K. Big shout out to him as well. And we got a big show for today. We got a big show today. A lot of different topics that we have to touch on. So we're gonna be jumping around quite a bit today. But we're gonna see how it plays out. But y'all know how I go. When I'm in here solo, put a one in that comment section. Let me know y'all can hear me okay. If y'all can hear me okay, then we're gonna get up and going. Big shout out to everybody that's in here, man, for sure. Big shout out to everybody. Give me just a second. If you in here, put a one in the comment section if you can hear me. Put a one in the comment section if you can hear me. Big shout out to everybody, man. Really appreciate y'all jumping through. We actually gonna wait a couple of minutes before we get up and going, just to let a couple people get in here and make a few announcements, things like that. Off top, big shout out to Lucas Brown. Huge shout out to Lucas Brown. Did an interview with him late last night. It was like 1 in the morning for me, like 1:15 in the morning. It was daytime over where he was at. So we made that happen. A little bit of sacrifice, but we definitely made that happen. Big shout out to Toby for making that happen, for sure. But it came out dope. I'm gonna put out some clips a little later on tonight. Drop the whole interview tomorrow and see what kind of responses we get off of that. Big shout out to Coach Padman McGriff. Just got finished texting him back and forth. I'll hit you up later, big dog, and we can definitely chop it up. But we got a big show today, man. Like we got a big show today. Jake Paul and Tommy Fury is done, and it's going down despite the quote unquote traveling issues and things like that with the Furies and everything with Daniel Kinahan and MTK Global Connect, all of that. So I'm glad to see that fight going down. And I'm looking at that fight as like pure entertainment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just pure entertainment. Like, can Jake Paul actually get another W? You know what I'm saying? So, kind of curious to see who Tommy Fury gonna have in his corner, since none of his peoples is gonna be able to come here, according to the reports. But we gonna see what happens. Now we got the return of Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller, man, my man L Dub sent me a pic. Shane sent me the same pic as well. He said this man was 341 pounds, man. 341. Like, that is crazy. Like, that's insane. Like, he was already like big as is, like, but 341, like, oh my God. Like, but it's just, you gotta see the picture. You gotta see the picture. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Um, Hold on a second. 'Cause if I can find it, I'm actually show it to y'all. Let me see. Let me see. That is a big boy, man. I'm trying to get a still pic. Trying to see if I can get a still pic of Big Baby Miller, but I mean, 341 pounds is insane, yo. Insane. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on just a second. Hold on. Let me show this to y'all real quick. This is Big Baby Miller at the weigh-in. Like, that's insane, yo. That's this pic right here, man. Like, that is crazy, yo. Absolutely crazy, man. 341 pounds, man. Like, this. Man, my man Big Baby Miller looking like he looking like Carl Winslow out here in these streets, man. My man looking like Carl Winslow, man. Like, oh man. Like, he been out the ring almost like 4 years. So much has happened since he's been, away from the sport. But I mean, just bro, like, yo, he's bigger than. Think about this. He's bigger than probably 90% of the offensive linemen in football. He's bigger than like 95% of the offensive linemen in football. Like, that's crazy. So when you think of Big Baby Miller and you think of his old fighting style, he was throwing like 75 to 100 punches around, like physically, like that's like it's like impossible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so even if you didn't think he was on anything, like he was doing something that no big man has ever done in the history of boxing. And that's, usually guys that big, even I would say probably 70, 80 pounds lighter than him, they're just methodical with the shots, not throwing shots like a featherweight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. He's coming in at 341 pounds. I'm sorry. I don't know his opponent's like financial situation or whatever the case may be. I'm sorry. I'm as a heavyweight, I'm not getting in there with a dude that's 341 pounds and has the type of record that he has. And I'm not saying that he can't recover or regroup, redeem himself. I'm not saying that at all. But man, I'm sorry. I'm not taking that fight. My guy, man, Clarence McClain in the building. Big shout out. That's my guy right there, man. Out of NY, man, doing big things out there, man. Big shout out to Clarence McClain, man. Um, go follow him on the gram. The No Duck Zone podcast definitely popping. Definitely go give him a look. Big shout out to Clarence McClain. Big shout out to the wife as well, man, for holding him down, man, for sure. Big shout out to Clarence McClain. But yeah, back on this on Big Baby Miller, like he linked up with Kevin Cunningham. I don't know if Kevin Cunningham is still training him, but I know he had some footage with Kevin Cunningham, and he was putting some work in. So I'm looking and I'm like, okay. Kevin Cunningham, he's one of the more respected trainers in the sport. He's a no nonsense guy, and he's not putting up with he's not putting up with any nonsense. You know what I'm saying? He's not putting up with any nonsense, and I'm pretty sure he had a conversation with Big Baby Miller. He probably got even something in the contract, basically saying like, "Yo, like, no PEDs, no none of that, or the contract is terminated." Like, I'm pretty sure he has something like that, in the contract. So it's gonna be interesting to see Big Baby Miller just back in the ring, period. And I'm looking for what type of fighting style does he have? Because if he's only throwing like 30 punches around, 35 punches around, then you know what time it is. You know what time it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be the new Big Baby Miller, and you know why the old Big Baby Miller was looking like the old Big Baby Miller. You know what I'm saying? But if Big Baby Miller is still throwing 75 to 100 punches around, and he has the entire world looking at him to make sure that he's clean, like he's on the up and up, then I got to shrug my shoulders. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got to shrug my shoulders, for sure. Clarence McLean, what up, bro? No Duck Zone YouTube channel is about ready. Hey, man, I need an invite to that joint, man. Once you get that thing up and going, I need an invite to that, man. Definitely No Duck Zone YouTube channel. You know, he already family as is, man. He just extending the empire over to YouTube, man. So, ain't nothing wrong with that at all, man. Let me know when you actually drop that thing, man. We'll definitely, promote that for sure. So I got you, bro. You already know, bro. You already know. But I mean, the heavyweight division is really, I mean, it's, to be honest with you, it's a lot of fights. It's a lot of fights for Big Baby Miller if he wants to, kind of take it serious and take the right steps and the right approach. And the thing with the whole PD thing, like, not only are you putting yourself in danger, but you're putting your opponent in danger as well. And it's like it can affect your health, it can affect your opponent's well-being. Like it's a bad look all the way around. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of guys out here that's like cheating. Like, let's just keep it a bean. Like they cheating, and it's a lot of things going on in the sport that's not what I like to call gentleman like. You understand what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, like you have to, you got to live with that. You have to live with that. You know what I'm saying? If you cheating and you literally hurting dudes, and you know guys' careers are changing for the worse because you're making sure you're not on the even playing field, man. Like, that shit not cool. Shit not cool, man. Like, that shit is not cool, man. And it's like, well, boxing is not regulated. So this is the longest a person has ever been on suspension, not even suspension, but just on a hiatus from positive drug tests. We just seen Jean Pascal in the ring not that long ago, maybe about like a month ago, and he got a close decision victory. But I mean, he had the whole pharmacy in his system. He had the whole pharmacy in the system. He right back in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Big Baby Miller, biggest fight of his life against Anthony Joshua that's supposed to be in New York, and he just screwed it up, man. Like, just screwed it up, man. So I'm not on here to bash Big Baby Miller. I know it sounds like I'm bashing him right now. I'm really just pointing things out, but I hope he's on the straight and narrow. I hope whatever happened back then, it don't happen now. And if he gets through this fight and he has negative tests, and if he's doing VADA testing and things like that, and he's passing all his VADA tests, then I'm gonna evaluate him by what he's doing going forward, not by what he's done in the past. So I'm hoping that he's right. I'm hoping that he's right, because I feel like the heavyweight division is better with him than without him. It's a lot of matchups for Big Baby Miller, man. I'm looking forward to see what he looks like inside the ring, and we're basically gonna go from there. But the big news for today is Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. That fight is officially going down, Madison Square Garden, and it should be an entertaining fight. It should be an entertaining fight, and a lot of people talk about Jake Paul, and he's not this, he's not that. Like, as far as a boxer, we know that he's not a professional boxer in a sense. Like, he's found a niche and he's running with it. He's found a niche and he's running with it, and people have to accept that for what it is. He's found a niche. Like, he is a YouTuber. He's a online celebrity that loves the box, and he's kind of exploiting the market, and he's gotten into promoting now. So now he's promoting fighters. Like, he's really like taking the ball and running with it. And I'm like, you can't knock that. You can't knock that. And whether he can beat Tommy Fury, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let's see. John Boy Belton, what's going on, family? What's going on with you? Clarence said, John, my brother, says up. Big shout out to you, family. Big shout out to you, man. But that fight going down in New York, man, and the thing that's crazy, it's gonna be a lot of people probably betting on that fight too. It's a lot of people that's betting on that fight, man. Like I just look at it. It's just for me, it's just entertainment. It's not, you know, neither one of these guys are really, like they're not. They're just guys that get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Tommy Fury, you know what his affiliation is, and with Jake Paul, you know what he doing. But when you get into the ring, when they get into the ring, whether you buying or not buying or whatever the case may be, like you're gonna watch. You're gonna watch. Whether you admit it or not, you're gonna watch that fight. And we're gonna see what happens with that. But kind of just moving off of that, we got Josh Taylor and Catterall. They've been going back and forth, talking a lot of smack, and I need for Josh Taylor to go handle that. I need for him to get that, get that right, get that together, and square that off, because he's number 10 on my pound for pound list. And I gave him the ultimate pass, and I just said he had a bad night against Catterall. But I think he beats Catterall 10 out of 10 times, as far as I'm concerned. I thought, I ain't gonna lie, I thought Catterall should have got the decision. I'm not going front. But I mean, Josh Taylor, I ain't never seen him look that bad. You understand what I'm saying? Never seen him look that bad. And I'm gonna assume when they jump into the ring again, like Josh Taylor gonna put them mitts on him. Definitely gonna put them paws on him. But for the people that's in here, man, big shout out to everybody that's in here. I just want to let y'all know before I continue. Interview with heavyweight Lucas Big Daddy Brown. It's going down tomorrow. Gonna drop that. I'm gonna drop some clips of that interview tonight, and I'm gonna drop the whole interview tomorrow. It's gonna be on the channel, G5 Jeff TV. It's going to be on the website as well, g5jefftv.com. It's also going to be on all of our other platforms. I'm going to put it on Facebook. I'm going to put the clips up on Instagram and Twitter. And, I'm going to let everybody see how well the interview went. I'm probably going to put up between 5 to 8 clips. Probably on Instagram, I'll probably put up maybe about 4 clips. Twitter, I'll probably put up like 4 or 5. With Twitter, I think you can do videos up to like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I can probably get about a good 4 or 5 on Twitter. Instagram is 1 minute unless you turn it into IGTV, which I don't like to do. So I'm gonna make them a minute. And I'll put about 4 of them up, and then I'm gonna put the clips up on Facebook, on all of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, and get that interview out there, man. So it's about like 25 minutes long, real good interview, man. Like when I say I didn't have to edit nothing, I didn't have to edit anything. Like it was that quality of an interview, man. So big shout out to Lucas Big Daddy Brown for stopping through. He had me up 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, but it's all good though, man. Like you trying to out here trying to handle business, man. Like you do what you gotta do, no matter what time it is. So big shout out to Lucas Big Daddy Brown. Big shout out to Toby for making it happen. I do apologize to Shane. Just the time that it was when the interview started, I couldn't. I knew you were asleep. You know what I'm saying? So, but we got plenty of time to get a lot of other people on camera. My guy, English guy, what's going on, good brother? What's going on with you, man? Pleasure to have you in here, man. For sure. And then we got good fights coming up this weekend, man. Like we got really good fights, coming up this weekend. And boxing hot right now. Like boxing is really hot right now, man. We got a lot going on. We just coming off of the Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. fight. Robesi Ramirez, and he got the knockout over Abraham Nova. That was a big victory for him. And then Top Rank, Top Rank always got the young pups. They keep a nice stash of talent on the come up. So every single show you're gonna see Top Rank gonna have um, top level prospects on the undercards. And if you're a prospect, like Top Rank is where you want to be in terms of building your career and building a solid foundation. I know everybody like to talk about Al Heyman and PBC and all that, and all that's cool. And I'm not taking anything away from them at all. But when it comes down to building a young fighter, Top Rank is where it's at. And it's been like that for the past God knows how long. Like, they are very, very good at what they do. They are very good at what they do. But big shout out to my guy Cruz Hitman Stewart, man. He is fighting tomorrow on Pro Box. Um, definitely download Pro Box, whether you got the Droid or you got an iPhone. Definitely download Pro Box, the app. That card is a pretty nice card. My guy Cruz Hitman Stewart is going to be facing Hakeem Lopez at 168 pounds. And that fight's going down tomorrow. And I do think that's going to be the fight of the night. That fight going down at 168 pounds. Cruz Hitman Stewart is with Salida Promotions. And this is the biggest test of his career. They playing it like he's the B-side. They're definitely pumping Hakeem Lopez. And we're familiar with Hakeem Lopez because he sparred with my guy Tree James back in the amateurs. So, the people in Iowa, and Cruz is from Iowa. Basically, the guys from Iowa, they're familiar with Hakeem Lopez, and they know how tough of a fighter he is, man. Like, that's going to be, to me, that's going to be the fight of the night. I like Cruz at 160. But I get it, though. He's been out the ring for a little while. Hakeem Lopez been a little more active. So, you take fights however you can get it. You know what I'm saying? You take them however you can get them. And we're going to see what happens tomorrow. But Cruz is 8-0. And Hakeem Lopez is 12-0. So whenever you get two undefeated fighters, strapping up, ready to go, somebody got to go unless it's a draw, and at the end of the day, I think that's going to be the fight of the night. Might be one of the fights of the weekend as well, man. Both guys cracking, especially Cruz. Cruz definitely bringing that. He bringing that 4-alarm fire smoke. Like, the man can punch. The man can definitely punch, man. Big shout out to both of them, but I'm definitely going to check that out. I'm probably going to end up talking to both of them after the fight. I try to get in contact with both of them before the fight. We was just missing each other. That's kind of how it goes. But I'm gonna definitely link up with both of them after the fight and see how they feeling. We definitely got fights tomorrow in Philly at the 2300. A lot of young pups from out of Philly fighting. I know Lil Dump fighting tomorrow. Tamir's fighting tomorrow. There's a lot of good talent in the city of brotherly love that's going to be on display come tomorrow. What else? I'm not going to lie. I gotta take a look. So Rung Vasai is fighting Saturday. Akhmed Delayev and Ronnie Rios. That's a hell of a fight, yo. That is a hell of a fight. The Rung Vasai fight is a good fight, but Akhmed Delayev and Ronnie Rios, that is a good fight. So we got a real nice weekend of fights. My OG, Burt Wood, in the building. Big shout out to Burt Wood. Said G5 watch John Wick 1 and 2. He's a bad man. No, I'm up on it, Burt. I done watched all three of them. Man. Like, if you just like a bunch of killing and action, like John Wick's your guy. Like, you gotta go with John Wick. English guy, Rung Vasai fight should be good. I'm looking forward to Eggington and Zeke. Should be entertaining. No, facts, all facts. Like, English guy, to think about this weekend's fights, all of them should be action. Like all of them should be action fights. Like I'm looking up and down the schedule and I'm like, yo, like I don't see one fight where I'm like, man, it's gonna be a snooze fest. Like all of these fights should be really, really, really good. Akhmed Dalayev and Ronnie Rios, that should be an action fight. Rung Vasai should be an action fight. Who else? Cruz and the Cruz fight. That fight should be an action fight. Is the fights in Philly should be an action fight. Like it's a lot of good fights. Raymond Ford is on the card. Who else? Who else? Who else? Jessica McCaskill's fighting. So I mean, it's loaded. It's loaded. It's lit across the board. It's lit across the board. And these are the types of cards, and these are the types of weekends that we got to focus on as boxing fans. Like we got to focus on these as boxing fans. Like everything can't be Spence Crawford. Everything can't be, Fury Usyk or Usyk AJ. Like we got to start spreading our wings and start exploring a lot of these young pups out here that's trying to get their name out there, and a lot of these smaller cards and things like that. I like what Pro Box is doing. I like what RDR Promotions is doing. There's a lot of quality out here in terms of the sport of boxing, and we got to take the time out to talk to these guys. So, when we interview these guys, we gotta make sure to show them love. You know what I'm saying? Like, so boxing is a lot bigger than the top 10 guys in the sport or the top 15 guys in the sport, man. Like, it's a whole culture. You know what I mean? English guy said Karis is fighting in the UK too. I don't know how fast she'll go in the pros, but she's good fun to watch. No, definitely. And that's another one on the radar. That's another one on the radar. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. He said far not fat. I knew it. Yeah, but we just got a lot of action. So the fights I'm looking forward to the most, the two I'm looking forward to the most is the Akhmed Dalayev and Ronnie Rios, and the Cruz Stewart and Hakeem Lopez. Those are the two that and I know Cruz Stewart and Hakeem Lopez is not high on anybody's radar because y'all don't know who they are. But if you know this channel, if you know G5 Jeff TV, I interviewed Cruz Hitman Stewart about 2 years ago, and we talked about so much. I had to break it up into like three different parts of the interview, and it ended up being like an hour and a half or something like that. That's how much we was like chopping it up and talking and things like that. It was me, it was Cruz, and I think Mike Pat was on there. Big shout out to Mike Pat. And we was just on there just chopping it up, man. Like, so I've been cool with Cruz for a minute. He's been signed with Salida Promotions for a while, and this is his first real opportunity with Salida Promotions to really put a stamp on things and really introduce himself to the middleweight and super middleweight class. I want to see him get back down to 160. But I mean, if the the offers are at 168 and the payments is at 168, then you gotta take the 168 at the end of the day. But big shout out to my guy Cruz Hitman Stewart. But he said I can't type, LOL. Yeah, man, it's cool, man. It's cool, man. The typing and the spell checks and all that, man, it be getting me too, man. It be having me looking all retarded, acting like I can't spell, like I ain't got no education. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it, man. But y'all let me know who are you most excited to see? Like, what fight excites you guys the most? Matter of fact, you know what? I'm feeling good today. Hold on. I'm feeling good today. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll put this. My God, Bruce Gas in the building, man. Big shout out to Bruce Gas, man. Says salute my brother at G5 Jeff TV. Big shout out to you, bro. Yo, I checked out the 10 Witherspoon joint, man. Yo, when I say I thoroughly enjoyed it, bro. And you know the thing, Bruce, the thing that I like about your setup is it doesn't sound like an interview and it doesn't feel like an interview. It just feel like just two guys just chopping it up. Just two guys just talking boxing. Like it seemed like y'all knew each other for years and y'all was just sitting there just having a conversation on camera. And that's how you're elite at what you do. When you take a person you never met before and you just talking and you just make it seem like a regular conversation. That's the difference between an average interview and a great interview, man. So Bruce Gas, big shout out to you, bro. You did a great job. You're doing a great job on the channel. If you're not subscribed to Bruce Gas, man, definitely subscribe to Bruce Gas. One of the few channels that I be checking for on a daily basis, man. One of my favorite people to listen to, man. A great boxing mind, great boxing voice, and y'all need to get on that. Y'all need to get on that channel ASAP. Y'all definitely need to get on that. And couple other people I got a shout out to, man. Big shout out to my guy YSM Sports Media, man. He's one of the hottest media dudes out here. Like point blank, period. The stuff that he got going on right now, man. He got his eggs in so many baskets, man. He just moving around crazy, man. Big shout out to YSM Sports Media, man. Big shout out to Bushido. Big shout out to Shido. Big shout out to Pound for Pound. Big shout out to my guy Leak. Big shout out to Leak. That's my guy right there. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Clarence McLean, underrated boxing talk, basement boxing talk. There's a lot of guys that I rock with that's really doing some good work in the sport, man. So big shout out to all you guys, man. Burt Wood, he said Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall for the undisputed WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO middleweight world titles is September 3rd. I'm letting y'all know right now, man. The last time I was on when I think Clarissa Shields had a fight. I had two people jump on in the comment section, said they was willing to bet me $10,000 a piece that Savannah Marshall was going to beat Clarissa Shields. I don't know if they're listening. I might just clip this and put it on social media, see if I can find them. I got 20. I got 10,000 for each of you. Clarissa Shields is going to box circles around this girl. And when you coming into a fight and the only shot you got is a land of money shot, more than likely you're going to lose. Savannah Marshall got one way she can win this fight, and that's getting Clarissa Shields up out of there. If she don't get Clarissa Shields up out of there, Clarissa Shields going to box her ears off. She's going to box her ears off, and I'm taking any and all bets. I don't care the amount. I don't even care if I got it. I'll go get it. Clarissa Shields is going to beat Savannah Marshall. Period. Big shout out to my guy, Burt Wood, man. Bruce Gas, saluting Burt Wood, man. Burt Wood being here heavy. For sure, yeah. But that's Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. I mean, this is just falling in the long line of great matchups, great significant matchups. And boxing is really just putting it all out there on the floor. Boxing is on a really good, 2-year run right now. Like on a really, really, really good 2-year run. But what I'm going to do is I'm putting the link in the comment section. I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Boxing First Vlog ain't in here. Shane ain't in here, man. We about 34 minutes into the podcast, man. I got the link in the comment section, man. You want to click that? Come ahead, talk some boxing, man. Why not? Y'all ain't doing nothing but watching me anyway, so you might as well get on camera and cook up. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to everybody that's in here, man, checking it out, man. But again, for the people that didn't see it, I want to show y'all the picture of Big Baby Miller. The man weighed in at 341 pounds, yo. 341. I feel so good about my weight. I was feeling bad about my weight until I seen the pic of Big Baby Miller. Come on, yo. Come on, man. Come on. English guy, man. He said Miller's new nickname is Big Booby. Big Booby Miller. I can rock with that, man. I can rock with that, man. You know the thing that's crazy, English guy, is I want to see him succeed, man. Like if he's fighting clean, he's passing all his tests, and he go in there and do his thing, man. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it, man. I can leave that stuff in the past, man. But you know, he got to redeem himself, man. Starting with this fight, you know, for sure. Let's see. Clarence McClain, call me when you free. I'll call you as soon as I get up out this joint. He said, I'm going to the Danny Garcia fight July 30th at the Barclays Center. You know what? I'm gonna put in for the day off for that day, man. I'm gonna talk to you about that. I don't know if you're getting regular tickets or you getting in the building on the media side. I don't know how you're doing it, but we can talk about that. Clarence McClain, facts, bro. He stayed grinding. Yeah, for sure. Bruce Gas, salute. Yeah, Bruce, that's my guy, man. One of my favorite people to listen to, man. He said, Dan would love to come. Said beat her bad. Yeah. Clarissa Shields gonna put them paws on that girl. Gonna put them paws on that. And the girl got power. Savannah Marshall got power. That's it, though. That's it. She wanted to get Clarissa Shields' attention within the first 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? My God, Clarence McClain in the building. What's going on, bro?
What's up, my guy? I'm feeling a little special today because I'm like, oh, I finally got to come on my man's show.
Big shout out to Clarence McClain, man. Yo, you see how Big Baby Miller looking, bro?
Yo, I know he didn't look like that at the weigh-in, bro.
Bro, he weighed in at 341, bro. 341.
I ain't gonna lie, if he was a BBW, I'd have hollered at him. Yeah, woman.
Hey, yo, you, AAAC. Yo, I said earlier, I said my man out here looking like Carl Winslow and shit, man. Looking bad out here in these streets.
No, listen. If that's if I mean, listen, I'm kind of shocked, but then again, I'm not shocked because look how much time this man has had off. What was it when he was supposed to fight Joshua? What? Correct me. What was it? 2017, 2018?
Yeah, it was it was like 18. Yeah, it was like
He
18.
had he at that time. I think he was after he got suspended. He started doing security work or whatever. Because I mean, he had to find a way to make a living. Man, it was messed up. But the thing is, I hope he learned his lesson. Now the weight could be he can fix that. He can fix that. If he really wants to get back in the game and show people that he still has a lot left in him, the weight is the last thing that we have to worry about. Now, as far as what you were accused of, now that is what we have to keep our eyes on because they're going to look for a reason to get you up out of here again. This time, get you up out of here for
For
good.
good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
That's a fact.
please, Big Baby Miller, do not go out of your way to make us look bad. If you feel like you're going to do anything else like that, bro, just walk away before they find out.
Yeah, you know the thing that's crazy though, see, like it's one thing for you to make a mistake, but when you make multiple mistakes and it hits the wallet every single time, like it's bad. So he was getting a career high payday with the Joshua fight, right? Could have became a heavyweight champion of the world. That ended up not working out. Like he had the positive drug test. So then he turns around, right? He gets the deal with Jay Prince. Jay Prince drops a bag on him. Then he turns around and he tests positive again. Tests positive again. Gets suspended. Hasn't been in the ring since. So when you really look at it, like not really trying to put his business out there, but I mean it's the facts. I'm like, he owe Jay Prince money. He still owe Eddie Hearn money. Like he still owe Eddie Hearn money. So and it's like, and what promoter is gonna take a chance on him? Like what promoter is gonna take a chance on him? That's and you have aspirations of being a promoter. So I'm like, just kind of speak to us in regards to that. You see a guy that got a name, but he got a trouble past. Like, do you take a chance on him, or do you just like it ain't even worth it? Like,
Um,
put your promoter hat on.
You know what? I was thinking about that right now because I was thinking about doing my first show, my first amateur show I'm trying to do later this year. And this is one particular guy. I would love to have him on the card, but it's hard to take a chance with him because he's out here just doing all type of reckless shit that can just make me look bad. So but for some reason I still want to give the kid a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I give you a shot and you continue to keep doing the dumb shit, that's it. But I have to give you a shot. And I'm gonna explain to you why I have to give you a shot. Because once upon a time, we all did something in our life, and we wanted somebody to give us a shot. Sometimes we got it, and sometimes we didn't. Sometimes people didn't want to mess with us because people put the word out. Don't mess with Jeffrey. Nah, he bad for business. Nah, that dude be doing this, he be doing that, he be around all type of wild shit. You gonna invest in him, and it's gonna be a waste. He's gonna be a big disappointment. But sometimes you have to follow your own mind, man, and just say, you know what, let me take a shot. But what you do is you tell a fighter, listen, man, there's a lot of people out here telling me not to fuck with you, man. They telling me not to do it. But I'm not worrying about what they're saying. I'm going to go back on my own word and do something that I said that I wouldn't do. It was kind of like when Joe Clark let Sam's back into school. After him throwing people out, what did he do? He went back on his word and let one kid back in. What happened? It changed everything. But my thing is, what you do with that chance I give you, it's up to you. But just know that once you mess that up, that's it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing with Big Baby Miller, like, so I don't know if he's still with Kevin Cunningham, but he was doing work with Kevin Cunningham in the gym. Mm-hmm. Kevin Cunningham, one of the more respected coaches in the game. So when I seen that, I was like, there's certain things that you have to do to get my attention and be like, yo, like, I think he's on the right path. So when I seen him with Kevin Cunningham, I was like, okay. I said, all right, cool. Like, that's a start. That's definitely a start. Now with the weight, he's with the weight is crazy. Oh man, there's a party in this joint, man. My guy Bruce Gas in the building. I gotta take the screen off for him. Gotta give him a fresh screen.
Yeah.
Bruce, what's up, baby?
Clarence McLean, what's happening, man?
My brother Bruce. Hey Bruce, let me tell you something. Every time I see you, man, I don't know what it is, but you look like you're looking 20 years younger. I don't know what you got going on.
Looking good, brother. Looking good, man. What's up with you?
My phone is right here, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man.
No, I was just finishing up dinner G5, and man, you know, bro, you just flatter me, bro. You know, when you give me those compliments coming from yourself, man, and you know, my wife is listening to it, and she's like, man, I'm like, yeah. I said, I gotta go thank him for what he said as soon as I get done eating.
Bro, I told people this is before you even started your channel. I'm telling guys, I'm like, yo. I'm like, it's a guy named Bruce that be on the show all the time. I'm like, yo, this dude. I'm like, I said he next up. He next up. I'm telling people like, yo, he next up. And once you started the channel, I don't even know if I think you just up and just started it. I think you just up and just started the channel. And I was just like, damn, I was just like, yo, everything he said he was going to implement, he implemented it. I was like, the Tuesday night fights, all that other stuff. What you did with Tim Witherspoon was great. Big shout out to Tim Witherspoon, man. One of my favorite heavyweights, man.
What a nice guy too. What a genuine individual. I talked to Tim before the show, and he said, well, he goes, I'll give you how about 15 minutes, a half hour. I said, how about a little more, Tim? He goes, well, we'll see. We're talking for 2 hours. I said, Tim, I says, I appreciate this so much, man. He goes, 10 more minutes.
Hey,
you thought I was going to cut him off.
I got to shake his hand, and that man has like the most tightest grip. Like I said, yo, I could only imagine how dudes felt when he punched them in their face. That dude got a tight grip.
and he's in such good shape, bro. You know, he's 65, and he looks good, man. You know, you guys, you know, you compliment me a little bit, but man, Tim, he turned the clock back, man. He's still going to the gym every day. He told me he's still sparring. He's still staying in shape. You know, he knows limitations, but he wants to stay with his daughter and his son. He likes traveling around, doing guest appearances, speaking at fundraisers. and he wants to train fighters. He's looking to people to get in touch with him because he's got so much to offer. He's got that old Philadelphia school, the Pops Miller, the Slim Jim Robinson, the shit that none of these trainers have today. And Tim's got that, and he's dying to share that with other fighters, with young guys. Oh,
where's he at now? Like, what state is he in?
He's in Philadelphia, in the New Jersey, Philadelphia area. And
oh man, he need to come down to it's about 4. There's so much talent here, man. He can come down here and get what he want. He come down here and get what he wants. It's so many guys that's in, like, if you go to like Bosey's gym, like Bosey in his gym, and Boots in his gym, like, it's the who's who of fighters in there. Like, it's the who's who.
What you got to do is you got hit me up on Twitter. Give me your phone number. I'll run it by Tim. I'll say, Tim, call up my buddy G5 Jeff, man. So, you know, and he'll do it because Tim is a very trusting person, and I feel safe putting you in touch with him. And man, I think we can make some really nice things happen, bro.
Yeah, he can. We can definitely link up. I'll take him right to the. So it's basically like 3 main gyms, like in Philly. So you have you had one gym with Boots and Boozy in this. Everybody being there, Cool Boy Steph being there, a bunch of other guys being there. Ray Robinson is in there. Samuel T is in there. There's a bunch of dudes. Greg Hackett. So you got Greg Hackett, trainer. You got strength and conditioning coach. Yeah, Greg Hackett. That's a cool dude.
I lost my Bic lighter.
Oh man,
you gotta get that, man.
Go ahead, go get it. Yeah.
Greg is my I don't know what it is. Greg is my guy. Every time when I go live, he'll pop up and show love. He's in McLean's promotion too. He's in that group too, and I appreciate him for even accepting that, because he really didn't have to accept it. But I told him one day I'm coming down to Philly to get some work in, just to train a little bit, not to do any sparring, because I have to get back in shape. I'm not gonna lie, Jeff. I'm falling all the way off. I'm over here getting big as a house.
Check out this T-shirt. It says, education is important, but boxing.
What's that you got there, Bruce? That's your shirt?
I need one of them.
Boxing is important to
I like that.
Hey, bro, I was at my doctor's today. I had the shirt on. I'm walking out, and this old guy, I mean, very, very old guy, in his 90s, he sees the shirt, and he says, you box? I said, no, but I love boxing. He goes, because you got long arms. You look like a boxer. And I said, no, but I said, you have a box? He goes, yeah, man. And I said, you know who Tim Witherspoon is? This was, I just talked to Tim, so I'm still. And he goes, oh yeah, 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. And I said, I talked to him the other night, but he goes, oh man, and this guy's a fragile old man. And then and I'm saying, when did you box? He says, oh, I boxed back in Tony Zale and Carl Olson and Sugar Ray Robinson. And so I started naming a few, and he goes, oh, you got a good memory, man. You know these guys. It was only a 2-minute encounter, but just to touch souls with an old timer like that. It just felt so good. It was uplifting. Yeah. And I could see the dude had a smile on his face, because, boxing is it's universal. It goes beyond ages, races, whatever the fuck you want to say. But when you meet an old fucking boxer, it's like, dude, it's almost like I wish I could just turn my camera on and share what you have to say with the rest of the internet. But it was just a quick thing. I don't know the guy's name. I'll never see him again. But I just wanted to share that while it was still.
The thing that's crazy, man. Like, what he'll probably do if anybody that he knows is into the internet, he might say, hey, I seen this guy. He said he interviewed Tim Witherspoon. He might try to find you. It's crazy.
No. He was like nursing home old man. Real.
He might get somebody. He might get somebody though.
Hey, shout out to Drew Titan. Shout out to Drew Titan out there, bro.
And yeah. Big shout out to Drew Titan. He said on my way.
Big ups, my brother.
Yes, my
Drew Titan. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Drew Titan. Hold on. He said, $2 super chat. I see you guys working. Salute. Big shout out to you. Yo, I watched Drew Titan, I think it was like a day or two ago. Like, and I'm like, yo, his energy just comes to the front screen. Like, I'm like, I tune in and I'm like, I start listening and I'm like, yo, I'm like, his energy is like, it's energy and then it's knowledge with the energy. A lot of times people have energy and they don't have the knowledge. He's got knowledge and energy, and it's like right to the forefront.
You know what I appreciate? I love my brother Drew. He gives me a buzz when he's got some fighters on from my era where he doesn't have a lot of knowledge in it, and he'll say, oh Bruce, you want to jump on with Bobby Ches or Franz Boltwine? I'm like, do I want to fucking jump on?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, Vinny Pazienza. And I'm talking to Vinny like he's one of my goombas from Rhode Island, bro. You know, talking about Federal Hill. And, I mean, fucking Drew, he's made some of my days so special on the internet, man. So, you know, wherever this whole crazy shit's going with boxing, man, fucking Drew's one of the solid guys. And, man, I love Drew Titan. I love his channel, man. Shout out to Drew Titan, bro.
Big shout out to Drew Titan, man. Like I thoroughly enjoyed watching this live, and it's just his energy kind of just it commands your attention, and that's hard to find in any realm. Like, no matter what business you're in, when you get somebody that has that energy or that voice, and it makes people gravitate, man. Like that's something to salute. Oh, Bruce, you know what? I got something for you. So I interviewed Lucas Brown last night.
Oh.
I interviewed Lucas Brown last night, and so he's in Australia, so he's 14 hours ahead. So I've been trying to get this interview done for about 4 days. So he's saying, I'm going through somebody else to get it lined up. So my guy hits me. He's like, yo, Lucas said he'll be ready Monday, and he gave me a time. But I'm forgetting he's like a whole day ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so his Monday was my Sunday. So I'm like, Monday, I'm like, where you at? And he like, yo, like he's all the way in Australia. I was like, fuck. I was like, damn. I'm like, he's 14 hours ahead. So I literally had to get the interview done. Like, I think it was like 1:30 in the morning here. And then I think it was like 3:30 in the afternoon the next day. In Australia. But yo, it was I'm gonna drop it tomorrow, but man, it was I only had him on for like maybe like 25 minutes. Bruce, when I say I ain't had to edit nothing, I ain't had to edit nothing. Like I didn't have to edit nothing, bro.
How cool is that when you can do it, when you can talk to somebody? And like you said, fuck interviews, bro. I don't even call them interviews because I'm not a reporter. This is no ESPN. This is my fucking living room, bro. It's like, come on. And we go back and forth. That's
facts. And the thing that's crazy, I've turned down so many people because they was like they could only give me 15 minutes. And I'm like, yo, I ain't here for that. Like I'm not here for that. I'm like, if you're not in here trying to chop it up and talk and give people that's in the comment section an opportunity to get their comments off and their questions off, I'm like, I don't want it. I'm like, I don't want it. So everybody out there that comes on with me, it's at least it's kind of like the situation that you had with Tim. It's like, all right, I can give you a half, but it's gonna turn into a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of Clarence. It's kind of like you when you talk to Peter McNeely. Like it always turns into a marathon. Like,
yeah, because Peter doesn't. See, the thing is with Peter is he doesn't really. With him, it's no time limit, and if he has to go, then he'll let you know. But when Peter come on there, you see the stories he tell. He'll tell Mike Tyson stories. He can go on for hours. You know, it all depends on how much time he got and how much time you got. If you know, this is why I never stop him. I always let him tell some of the greatest stories that, like, I let him go ahead and go. I never would stop him. You know what I mean? And I actually get ready to do something with him next week because he hasn't been on the live for a minute. He's got back into the gym and he's doing things, but he's about to start getting back on the lives. But yeah, I'm like you. If you can't give me enough time, what's the point? That's the reason why I interview the amateurs. If you notice when I interview the amateur fighters, they come on there, they could talk for an hour and a half. They could tell you from the time they first started boxing, what got them into it and this and that. That's why I love doing it, man. All these other people, they act like they too good, man. But I can only give you 15 minutes. But then you see them on somebody else's platform, they done gave them 2 hours. So what made their platform so different from mine?
That's a fact. I literally had I was going back and forth with I was supposed to have Luke Santa Maria on and I get with him on Instagram, right? So he said, yeah, go gave me the name, this contact, gave me their phone number and all that. Was like, yeah, hit him up, he'll line it up and all that. Like, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm thinking I'm Bruce, I'm thinking I'm gonna be in and out. So I hit the guy up, I tell him who I am. I was like, I talked to Luke, he told me to reach out to you, boom, boom, boom. So dudes start giving me the run around, and I'm like, I'm gonna entertain it for a quick second. So, you know, I sent him some videos and sent him some interviews and stuff I did in the past. So I said, you know, I'm not gonna keep him on too long. You know, I just want to chop it up with him. So he's coming off of a loss, right? He's coming off of a loss, and he's giving me like the hell of a runaround. So I send him everything that he asked for. He said he wanted to know the questions, all that. And this is completely out of my school. So I'm just like, I sent it to him. So he said, you know, maybe we can do something in July. I said, nah, I'm good. I said, I'm straight. Like I'm all the way good. Like I'm not I like Luke. I like Luke Santa Maria. Like I think he got one of the better resumes out there. But I'm like, you're not gonna give me the runaround. You're not gonna give me the runaround. Like I'd rather you just tell me no from the jump, and I'm cool. I'm gonna keep it moving. I don't chase nobody.
G, I learned that, and this is why I won't interview any professional fighters. They have to be willing to come up here and do it. But I won't say all professional fighters, but some of them I'm not gonna bother with, because when I have to write down the questions and then I gotta run them back to you. I did that before for somebody. I'm not gonna say who they is because I promised them I'll never say who they were. But that's when I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm going to freestyle it. I'm going to do it how I want because it's my show. If you don't like the questions, or if you feel like the questions are not official, then don't come on. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going through all this. I got to sit up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and think about what the hell I want to ask you. I'm not on that type of timing.
I've never wrote down. I've never wrote down any questions.
Nah.
For no show, no nothing. And I literally, like, I literally had people, like, they'll DM me. They'll be like, yo, like, do you got a script? Do you pre-plan? I'm like, I don't have no script, no pre-plan, no nothing. I said, the only thing I pre-plan is the subject. That's it. The main subject, and that's it in the thumbnail. That's it. Everything else, I don't know what's going to happen.
You know, I'm a Mickey Mouser, bro. I'm so new at this. And, you know, when, like, my brother Trick Nolte, he gets in contact with a lot of these fighters. And me and yeah, you know, I'm sure you must have seen Trick out there.
Yeah, big shout out to Trick Nolte.
Oh, bro. I mean, Trick's my brother. In fact, I just talked to Trick a half hour ago. He called me a 3-way call with some dude. Like, the guy's name was Richard from New York. And he was a big boxing fan. And I don't know why Trick wanted to make a 3-way call. But I talked. We were carrying on about 45 minutes, and this dude mentioned this guy in Chicago probably back 30 years ago. His name was John Collins. He was a middleweight, and he's asking me. He goes, "Do you remember this guy?" And I'm like, "Kinda, yeah." And then all of a sudden, my brain kicked in, and he goes, "He fought this other guy in Chicago." And I said, and he's like, "I can't remember his name." I said, "You're talking about Lenny LaPaglia?" And he's like, "Whoa." And it's like just these obscure things that roll around in my head, and it just, somebody just asked me that question, and bango. I mean, my wife even says, "There's no way you're Googling that. They know you're not. They know you're not asking Alexi." It's like, you know, you got things.
There's no way I'm doing that. I might have called you and I'd have been like, Bruce, I'd have ran that question by. That's the one thing about me. I don't have a problem deferring when I don't know something because I'm just gonna look at it as a learning moment anyway. And a lot of people have problems with actually doing that. Hey, C, did you see the interview with Tim Witherspoon?
No, I didn't.
Yo, you gotta go check that out, bro.
Where can I find that?
It's on Bruce.
It's on
on
my
Bruce
channel, Clarence.
It's on his channel. It's
so
on Bruce
before
channel.
tonight is up, I'm gonna go look at it.
Bro,
yeah, it's 2 hours. I mean, just if you want to check it out, bro, it's everybody tells me it was a good talk that we had.
2 hours. I have nothing else to do. That's all I do in here. If I'm not spending time with my wife, I'm doing some boxing history. That's all I do. That's all my life is surrounded by. My wife and boxing. That's it.
It was next. I mean, bro, it was me too.
Next. I got to include my dog in that one though.
Yeah, that interview was next.
I'm definitely gonna go look at it though.
Yeah, definitely.
It was so much fun. I mean, it was I didn't have a question that I was going to ask him. I just wanted to go with the flow. I wanted to see what he wanted to talk about. And it's not the first time I interviewed him. It's the first time I had him on my show. He was on my show back around January, I think. He was on there for a little bit, but because I always liked Tim Witherspoon. He was one of my favorite heavyweights.
Yeah.
And his birthday is it's right around Christmas. I can't even think of the day. I think it's December 27th. And I just
it's the day after mine. It's the day after mine. Mine the 26th. Right.
Okay, so I just started my channel. And I'm saying, shit, I'm going to do a fucking little dedication to Tim Witherspoon. I'm going to do a happy birthday. And so I played I played one of his old fights, and I just started going through his record and saying, I remember watching him when he fought Bone Crusher Smith the first time, and I couldn't believe this when he got beat the second time. And, I just went through his, and then I went to his channel, and he was doing some shit, and I just kind of typed in underneath, good stuff, Tim. I'm one of your fans. And he says, hey, thanks for that birthday thing you did for me. Because he saw Bruce Gass, Jazz Boxing.
You never know who watching.
So I'm like, wow. I says, Tim, that was my pleasure. And he goes, you got one thing wrong. And I think it was one fight that I got. But he goes, but everything else was right. And anyway, his business manager, Brian, he called me up and he says, Tim really dug that, man. And if you want to talk to him on your show, he's cool for that. And I'm like, wow,
let's do it.
Wow, man, this is my, I'm not even sure how to get my microphone and my music in the background. so anyway, we put it together, and first of all, the first time I'm on Mad Chat, I'm in his show. Him and I are talking, and my phone rings, and I look and it says Tim Witherspoon. I said shit, and I said Tim, and he said, hey Bruce, man, how you doing, man? This is Tim Witherspoon. I said, hey, hey, Tim, I'm on a live right now. You mind if I put you on speaker? He goes, no, go ahead. So I put him on speaker, and he goes, I don't trust these cell phones anyway. I like to put myself on speaker. They're going to give you a brain tumor. And I said, anyway, we did about a half hour on his show, and Blood was there, Fistiano was there, and they're like, oh shit, the Tim Witherspoon. And it's been like a little friendship we developed, out of that. So it's been 6 months, and I gave Brian a call. I says, hey, you think Tim wants to do another show? And he told me all the shit Tim's going through. And he's like, he really likes you. I bet he does. He says, let me call him. I'm going to give him your number. Mother's Day, Father's Day, I'm sitting here. The phone rings. He's like, hey, Bruce, man, I've been meaning to get in touch with you. I had such a good talk with you, and you're a real one. And Brian says you want to get together and do a show. And it just fell right into my lap. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, he says, you do the Tuesday night fights? I said, yeah. And I figured he's going to say, well, maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the road. He goes, how about this Tuesday? And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yo, that's so dope, man. Like, that is so dope. Like, and the thing that's crazy is, like, Tim Witherspoon was ahead of his time in terms of what he did defensively. So he gave you actually a mix of this.
Oh yeah.
He gave you a mix of that. So he's the only, I would say he's probably one of the pioneers in terms of defense
for a heavyweight.
Like the stuff he was doing, it takes so much athleticism up here. So much athleticism. For you to do this and you're still walking forward and you're still, that is bro.
And he's got the offense to go with it. That was
got
the thing.
Offense. And the thing that's crazy, he can go like this and bring a hook, and it's fluid. And it's fluid. Like Tim Witherspoon was one of my favorite fighters to watch, man. I was raised off of Tuesday night fights and old boxing footage from my uncle. You know, so you mentioned Tuesday night fights, and I know we used to talk about that all the time, like Tuesday night fights and all that. And matter of fact, I'm gonna take you back a little bit. So I had Ivan Robinson on the show. That's another person. He's in the gym in Philly. So if Tim want to come down, he definitely I would definitely take him to that gym for sure. So I get Ivan Robinson on the show, right? And actually what I want to do is I say it on camera. I actually want to get Ivan Robinson on, and I want to actually have him on, have you two on, a bunch of other people on, and actually relive the Ivan Robinson and Arturo Gatti fight, just live on the tube. Just the guy that has it on YouTube already reached out to him. He gave me permission to use it and all of that. I think that'd be like super dope, and literally have him watch it and kind of like relive it. But I had him on the show, and you know, we just talking boxing. We just talking boxing. So my guy Padman McGriff, he works with Devin Haney, and he's like his strength and conditioning coach. So I'm like, all right, Ivan, I'm gonna get you off. I got my man Padman coming in. So I get Padman, and he was like, where Ivan Robinson at? I was like, I let him go because you was coming on. And he was like, no, get him back on. He was like, I ain't never met him before. Like, get him back on. So we're having this conversation on live, on camera, for like 15 minutes. Ivan Robinson never left backstage on StreamYard. Like, he's still just sitting back there. So I'm like, Ivan, you want to jump back on? He like, hell yeah, I want to jump back on. So I get him on. I get Padman McGriff on. Bruce, they were on, bro. Bruce, they were on for so long, bro. I had to kick them off. I had to work. Like, I had to work that night, and I was so pissed that I had to work because I'm just sitting back. Bruce, I ain't even asked no questions. They was just going back and forth, story for story, like they knew each other for years, and that was the first time that they met. But those are the things that's why I'm on here. Like, I don't care. I'd rather talk to the coaches and the fighters anyway. I'd rather talk to the guys that's retired and the coaches than a lot of these fighters, because a lot of these fighters not going to give you the time of day, and they're going to BS you. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather talk to the Tim Witherspoons, the Ivan Robinsons of the world, the guys that's going to bring that knowledge. I had Boot strength and conditioning coach on. We were on for 2 hours. I had to kick him off. But that's the type of vibe that we're looking for. We're not just looking for like the quick 10-minute, 10-minute talk.
I know exactly what you're saying, bro. It's just grassroots. Like, for instance, I was going to have Marlon Starling on with me. I talked to him. I talked to Marlon, and he couldn't get he couldn't get the StreamYard going because he's my age. He's not internet savvy because I wasn't I'm still not internet savvy. But Marlon's really. I mean, we come from the generation. You go into an elevator, there was a guy standing there like Captain Crunch pressing the buttons for you. I mean, that's how little internet technology
right.
But anyway, Marlon, I said, Marlon, I'm going to give you a call about 10 minutes to 7. We'll see, because he said he can get it under control. He'll have his brother come over. But anyway, I'm on the phone with him, and I'm about to go on air, and he's still trying to get his internet going. I said, hey, Marlon, I'm going to just turn us on, and we're just going to talk. We're going to talk we're going to try to get it going online. So we spent about a half hour. He's on the phone, but everybody knew he was there. But we couldn't get him to pop up like this. It just kept coming up as bad connection. And finally, he said, well, listen, we'll do it again sometime. But we kept the show going, and we talked about his fights. And now Marlon Starling, great welterweight, man. I mean, knocked out Mark Breland, beat Lloyd Hunnigan. Oh, bro, he was like one of the best. And he had a compact career, retired really young. And, we did the show, and his brother was in the chat, and his brother was answering a lot of shit. And it was just it was a fun thing, but unfortunately we couldn't get Marlon to get him online. But that's how it goes on here. You make the best of what you have, and sometimes, like you just said, man, you catch a winner. You catch something that, hey, this is like, and that's the one that people are probably talking about. Drew was talking about it, and a lot of guys over his channel, they saw that interview, and with Padsman talking about Devin Haney.
Yeah,
that's
Pad. Yeah,
great
he's
stuff.
and the thing with Padman really good people. He when I say this dude know any and everybody, man, like I'm literally I put up a post. I'm like, yeah, I'm like Lucas Brown interview coming this Friday. I'm thinking I'm doing something, and he hits up Lucas Brown. He said, yeah, I met Lucas Brown when I was out there in Australia and all that. That's my guy and all that. And it was like it was crazy because he was giving me like behind the scenes stuff as far as the Devin Haney camp. And the game plan was so simple. I asked him off camera, I can say it now because the fight's over, but he was pretty much like, jab. When you respond to Kambosos, respond with multiple shots and make them reset. That's it. I said, that's it. He said, that's it. He said, that's all you need against Kambosos. He was like, he gonna bring his face right to you. And I was like, that's exactly how I played out. That's exactly how I played out. But he been around for so long. He's working with Teofimo Lopez when he was 16.
Wow.
He was working with them when he was 16. He worked with so many dudes. He was in the Mayweather gym for a long period of time. I can definitely get him on. He probably jump on tomorrow. He got.
I catch him a lot on your show. He's on a lot, and he's always got interesting stories to tell. And I mean, just what's going on today, what went on in his past life. He's a hot number, bro. He's a very real cool guy.
And the thing that's crazy is like after that interview came out and Bruce, you hit me. He was like, yeah, Drew and them, they saying that they they're running with it and all that. I was like, all right, cool. And I had so many people hit me and was like, how did you get in contact with him before the Devin Haney fight? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I've been talking to him for like 2 years. Like, I was like, when I was talking to him, I'm like, nobody knew who he was. Like, not on the East Coast, but I'm like, now since we've talked so much, he's trying to actually come to Philly and actually come to Bozy Ennis in them gym. And I'm like, you get Bozy Ennis, Greg Hackett, and Padman McGriff in the same darn place, bro. That's a documentary. Like, I'm literally paying the camera. Yo, I'm paying the cameraman and like, listen.
That's why I'm coming to Philly. That's why I'm coming to get to be around you, Greg Hackett, and Boots and up. Man, listen, I'm coming to Philly.
It's crazy, and it was like, and listen, the first time I was in there, right? Because I've been in there before, but not on a media capacity. The first time I was in there in a media capacity, I was in there with my guy YSM. Big shout out to him. We in there, we chilling, and so Cool Boy Steph is on the bag, right? Cool Boy Steph is on the bag, and this is the first time we ever seen him like in person, like working out, and so he has his back turned, but it's him because he got the little ponytail thing like in the back of his head. So I'm like, we looking and we like, that ain't Cool Boy Steph. And we like, nah, that's not him. And they like, nah, like that's him. So I'm like, they call him Scooter. So he's like, yo, Scooter. So he turned around, Bruce, back like this, Bruce. Back wide. And I'm like, I said, there's no way. I said, bro, there's no way you fighting at 122. It's no way you fighting at 122. And you don't get, and we've been in the gyms, and it's like, you don't get a person's physique. You see it on TV, but once you see it up and close, like in the gym, it's something completely different. We seen Cool Boy Steph. We was just like, yo, like, that is a big dude fighting at 122. That is a big dude fighting at 122. And we literally, so when I watched the Angelo Leo fight, I'm like, why is he going in there fighting Leo's fight? I'm like, why is he not just staying on the outside, jab, pop, counter shot, pot shot? He went in there and like bullied Leo. And it didn't hit me until I actually seen him in the gym. And I'm
he's
like,
a bull.
He is a bull. Like his like I'm not gonna put out there his actual like his max like walk around weight. That's a big boy. That is a
You know,
big boy, man.
it amazes me how they make that weight that big, and then they rehydrate. I don't even, I've been in nutrition for over 20 years, and I don't understand how they can rehydrate 10, 15, 20 pounds. It blows my mind how these nutritional gurus know how to do this shit, man. It's
Hey
mind
Bruce,
blowing.
I gotta send you the joint I did with Boot Strength and Conditioning coach Rob Acosta. And I'm sure you remember this one. Remember when Nigel Benn was fighting, he was scheduled to fight Chris Eubank. I think it was the first fight. And the story came out that Nigel Benn was 7 pounds overweight the morning of the weigh-in. And he had to lose 7 pounds by like 12 noon. He woke up at like 7 in the morning. So it was like on this documentary. So he ended up losing the 7 pounds. He looked like a zombie. And this was same day weigh-ins. This wasn't day before weigh-ins. This was same day weigh-ins back then. And I asked Rob Acosta. It was the first time I met him. I'm in Boise in them gym. I was like, when I see him, I'm gonna ask him this question. So I gave him the story. I said, is it possible for a person to lose 7 pounds in a couple of hours? He said, yeah. He said, it's possible. I said, how likely is it? He said, actually very likely. He was like, you get me he said, you get me with somebody for a couple of hours, I can get them to lose 7 pounds in a couple of hours. He said, you're not gonna like me afterwards, but I can get you to lose 7 pounds. Like, and I was in amazement.
And laxatives.
He didn't get into what. He wouldn't give me no.
There's only so many ways that you can extract weight from your body.
Yeah, I was just like, bro. I said, can you tell me how? He's like, I can't tell you how. But he's like,
I have a good idea, bro. I've dealt with bodybuilders who had to make weight, wrestlers who had to make weight. They do some fucking drastic things where they walk, like you said, they walk out there like zombies. Vinny Pazienza, perfect example. I was talking to Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
He was forced by Kevin Rooney to make that 140, and he couldn't do it. He said he was fighting. I can't think of the fucking name right now, but he said he fucking after that fight in his locker room, he thought he was dead. I mean, literally, he was fucking dead. His body, his soul came out of his body, and his father fucking slapped him and got him back. But he said it was inhumane how he could make that weight, because the next fight he didn't fight at welterweight. He went right up and won the 154-pound title from Gilbert DeLay, and he said it was a gift from God that he could go in at his trained peak weight, because he said that taking the diuretics, fucking laxatives, whatever it took, you just had to drop weight and get on that scale. He said he didn't even remember walking back to the dressing room after making weight some of the times. But that's the killer in boxing. I just don't know how these guys can do it. Like Jerron Boots Ennis. He's a monster, bro. How does he get down to 147?
I don't know if you won't ever get to Philly. I hope so. But I'm taking both of y'all there.
He looks like a walking. Boots look like a walking building.
Boots that's a fact. Boots. This is no exaggeration. I think that kid can fight at 160 right now.
He said he said he could.
Yeah, and his brothers is good too. People don't talk about his brothers, but his brothers is nice too. Like fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just run. He's the type of dude, he's in there every single day. He's in there every single day. Like
Monday through Saturday. I remember he said Monday through Saturday and Sunday I'm at church.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous man.
Literally. And when he's not training, he's literally on the pads, or he's working a bag with somebody, or he's helping somebody else train as well. Because it's a lot of A lot of kids be in there, a lot of women be in there working out. But it kind of has that Crunk gym type feel in terms of a whole lot of prestigious fighters all in one spot. And that's what that Boozy in his gym gives you. And it's probably in one of the worst neighborhoods you're going to find in Philly. But
I think Kronk was like that too, bro.
Yeah. Kronk was in a real bad neighborhood too. And it's just, it's the who's who in there, man. Like it's the who's who in there, man. Like that Paul Kroll has his own gym. But Paul Kroll was in there for a while. You can catch Breadman, Stephen Breadman, J Rock's trainer. He be in there sometimes, man. Like that's the premier gym in Philly. But Boots is literally he's a walk-in 154, and we got stories for days on Boot. That is a bad. I know a lot of people say like, oh, he hasn't fought anybody and things like that, and I'm like, yo,
nobody fights anybody today, bro.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to get some meaty shit going on, but boxing has been so lacking of major bouts where you got a marquee fighter fighting another marquee fighter. It's like, we can mail in the outcomes. We know what's going to happen. There's been very, very few 50-50 fights. I mean, but some people thought Beterbiev and Joe Smith was going to be a 50-50 fight.
Oh no! I predicted a second round knockout. It ended in 4, but Beterbiev's a bad man. That is a bad man. I literally, bro. I got a picture with him, Bruce. His hands, bro. Like his knuckles look like fingers, bro. Like them choices crazy.
Bro, I was here when he came to New York. I was down there, standing in front of the garden. He was coming across the street, and I said it was too late because I wanted to get the footage. I said, "Oh man, this is the perfect time to go live." But you know how when something catches you off guard, but you don't have enough time to press that start button.
Yeah.
And when he walked by, and I just looked at him, it was just like, damn. Like everything about him was just strong.
Yeah,
everything.
He looked like Wolverine in the flesh. Like.
How many fighters do you know who get better after 35? I mean, this man is freakish, and he was just born not of a woman, not of a man. He came out of a fucking rock or something, bro. Yeah. John Scully said. The day after the fucking fight with Joe Smith, he was back in the gym training like he had a fight in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Joe Smith, mind you, Joe Smith is no little guy neither, and he's pretty strong. So for him to go in there and to do that, we were back here in New York. We all were just looking like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, Joe's a big boy. He had a nice run after that Bivol loss, and he's a guy that you could tell he improved his craft after that Bivol loss. He really improved his craft.
But a freak like Beterbiev, nope. He's just unstoppable right now. I think at 175. People say Bivol is going to give him a good fight. What do you guys think?
I think Bivol gives him a good fight.
How good a fight? Good enough to beat him?
I don't think he beats him.
No.
I don't think he beats him. I think he's probably the biggest threat to Beterbiev at 175, but he doesn't beat him. Beterbiev has really good feet. He has underrated feet. Mm-hmm. You pay attention to his feet when he fights. Look at the Callum Johnson fight. Callum Johnson was like a bull. He just came right in his chest. And Beterbiev was moving side to side. The most dangerous fighter you can find is the power guy with the technique. And then on top of that, Beterbiev set traps. Power dudes ain't supposed to be setting traps, Bruce. Well, they're not supposed to be setting traps.
Scully says right now his main thing is to become a better boxer. He's trying to learn better footwork. He's trying to learn defense. He's trying to learn lateral movement. I mean, this dude is like almost 37 years old, and it's like he's starting to peak. It's going to be freaky. I'm dying to see him fight Bivol because this is.
Let me tell you something, Bruce Gold. I don't want no smoke with any guy who does push-ups on his knuckles.
Oh, not only on his knuckles, bro, but he's basically standing on his head doing those. His head, he does the push-ups with head goes to, I mean, this is, and he's a devout Muslim, never had a drink, never had a cigarette, abstains from all fucking things that are going to hurt your body, eats a plant-based diet. I mean, this guy's a fucking Superman, bro. I mean, I want to see him tested. I want to see him in a life or death. This is what I'm fucking hanging on for boxing to see fights like this. It'll get me really excited, man.
I see him. I don't want to reach, but I see him stopping Bivol.
I think so, man.
He could. And the thing about Bivol is a lot of times Bivol keep his hands in his pocket. Like he'll take what his opponent gives him. Beterbiev, you can't do that against Beterbiev. No. You can't do that against him. Like
well, see, Bivol has great footwork though.
Yes, he does.
Underrated. He was getting out of punches from Canelo. He was spinning Canelo around. When he was on the ropes, he would sidestep. Very underrated. And so that might give Beterbiev some problems, but like we were just saying, he's just freakishly strong. He hits so hard. It's like somebody hitting you with a baseball bat. This is going to be a great fight, man.
Hey, if I'm a promoter, I'm trying to talk to my fighter as best as I can. Don't. That's not.
Yeah, the thing that's
the problem
crazy.
with these fighters today, man. You got too many of them going. Nah. I'm going to go the WBO route. I'm not going to go there.
Right.
Like, come on.
I was at the Beterbiev and Vosdik fight. That was in Philly. So you could literally hear the shots. Like,
and Vosdik never fought again, did he? He retired after that.
He retired.
He said,
he retired after that. He was in the hospital for 4 days.
After fighting Arthur? Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was in the he went in the hospital Saturday after the fight. He didn't get out of the hospital like Tuesday night. The only reason I know that is because I knew one of the nurses. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he could literally
some inside contacts, dude.
I got a few.
Yes, you do, man.
I got a few. You know the thing that's crazy. Hey, man. I think
Jeff know the mayor. I think he know the mayor of Philly on the low. He's just not saying that.
I don't know the mayor of Philly, but I know somebody that do know him though. So
you see what I mean?
Hey Bruce, remember guys when they were fighting in the bubble, it was no crowd and there was speakers and you could hear the punches. That's how you can hear Beterbiev shots and the place was packed. That's how hard this dude's punching, yo. That's how hard this dude punching. Jesus. I'm going back and forth with Jesse Hart. I interviewed Jesse Hart after the weigh-in. So me and him going back and forth. I tried to get him to bet me. He wouldn't do it. But he was like, yeah, I like Vosdik, man. Vosdik can box this, that, and the third. I said, yeah. I said, oh, that's cool. I said, but once Beterbiev hit him with a couple of shots, I said, he going to have to make a decision. I'm like, he going to have to make a decision. And I'm like, he got Teddy Atlas in his corner. Oh, that's cool. Teddy Atlas ain't taking them shots though. Eventually, them shots is gonna wear you down, and that's exactly how I played out. But I've never been outside of like being in the Blue Horizon when I was younger, and that venue, like you could just hear everything. Like being in a venue like that, I've never been in a venue and I could literally hear the guys' punches. Like I mean, Bruce, it was literally like poof, poof, poof. Like that's how hard the shots was, and they wasn't even like someone wasn't even landing this. They landed on shoulder, elbow, forearm, and it's the same sound every single time. Poof, poof, poof.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro,
I know that crazy. Sound. I saw Marvin Hagler at the Civic Center when he fought Wilfred Scipion, and every it sounded like cherry bombs going off. Boom, boom, resonate through the fucking building, and I was like, oh man.
It's crazy, and I'm like, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, ouch, ooh, like I'm just like, oh my god, listen, man. AC, Padman McGriff, you want to know who he sparred back in the day? Julian the Hawk Jackson.
Oh,
I said, bro, you still? Man. I said, are you still alive? Like,
he's still going.
Yeah, I said, bro, I said, how the power, man? He was like, bro, the power. He was like, the power unreal, man. He was like, the power was unreal. Like, and I had another guy that used to train with Antoine Eccles, and that's a nemesis of B Hop. And he was like, Antoine Eccles was punching so hard. Like back at that time, there was people in B Hop camp that didn't want him to fight Antoine Eccles. And he's another guy that had like crazy power. So there's them power guys, man. When you hear them shots, man, it's something different. You gotta actually be there, like either in the gym or actually at a fight to actually get the full essence, of them shots. It's still one of my favorite action fights of all time is still Antoine Eccles and Charles Brewer Sr. That was a fire fight of all firefights. And I think that it goes to show I'm getting up there in age too, because I'm like, we sitting up here watching his son, Charles Brewer Jr. And I'm
I didn't even know his son was fighting. Wow.
Yeah, his son fights. I think he's like 3-0, 4-0. Southpaw. Yes. That was the first person. That was the first fight, the first live fight I ever went to. Blue Horizon, Philly.
Oh. In the Blue Horizon, there wasn't a bad seat in the house. I've never been there, but that's what they used to say on Tuesday night fights. There's not a bad seat in the house.
Bruce, the best way I can explain it is the Blue Horizon setup. Actually, the upper deck seats were better than the floor seats. So it's almost like if you're it's almost like like if you're in a parking lot.
Yeah, you're upper deck, you're like right there.
Yeah. So like if you like on the second floor of like a parking garage and you're standing and you're looking down on the cars on the bottom floor. That's exactly how the Blue Horizon was. It was like it was just
it's a shame. It's a shame that they didn't restore it and keep it going as just for nostalgia's sake. Because so many people, I mean, when they went to Philadelphia, they would just go see the Blue Horizon, and it's the same with Joe Frazier's gym.
Does the building still exist? And if not, why didn't they do anything with it?
Well, I can explain I was talking to somebody about it, and they said electrical issues, building permits, it was rotting on the inside. It was just a lot to undertake, but. I mean, federal money, the way things are now, the federal government's dumping money into everything. But hey, it's what could have, what should have, and they should have done the same thing with Joe Frazier's gym. I was talking to Tim Witherspoon about that, and he said, that Joe Frazier used to live upstairs. He used to have a loft upstairs from that, bro. Yeah, but they raised it, and it's gone.
Yeah, I actually got insight on like both of them. So basically, like with Joe Frazier's gym. I was actually working like in the tax department for the city at the time, and I remember Joe Frazier walking in, and I know it was some tax issues on the gym, and he waited so long to get them taken care of. The mayor at that particular time, he was gonna basically give him an exemption and be like, hey, like we'll work it out. And all of that, and it just never happened. Like it just never happened. I'm not sure why it didn't happen, but it just never happened. So I know taxes was part of the reason for the Joe Frazier gym. Now for the Blue Horizon, that one is just a travesty. So Bruce, everything that you were told is accurate. In Philly, there's you can basically mark a building is almost like a landmark. Like you can't touch it, you can't sell it, you can't turn it into this, you can't turn it into that. So it was like that for a while, and politics, changing of the guard, things like that. So now they're literally there's permits and stuff, like they're gonna literally turn it either into a hotel or turn it into apartments. But here's the sad thing though. Here's the sad thing. If you can turn that into apartments or whatever, that means you could have returned it back to its original state.
Yes.
And the thing about it, and it was a lot of stories that was getting put out about a Blue Horizon, things like that. And it was like, oh, well, this person ain't putting no money in. This person ain't putting no money in. Like, all of that's true. Don't get me wrong. All of that's true. There's plenty of people in Philly that got money, movers and shakers that could have made that happen. At the end of the day, with the Blue Horizon, there was no structural damage. Structural damage to the point to where the building had to be knocked down. Mm-hmm. If a building is not in that state, then it can be repaired. Yeah. And it's really just a matter of dollars and cents and getting somebody in there to actually do it. But that is one of the biggest, that's probably one of the biggest travesties that has ever happened in the city of Philadelphia. And it's right smack on Broad Street. Like it's right before you get to Temple University. It's right before you get to Temple University.
Do you think that was something that they had planned already? And they just said, hey, let's go ahead and go through it? Because I'm sure that something like that, you don't just decide that in one day. It sounded like to me the fix was already in. Like that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah, the fix was in. And I know a lot of celebrities in Philly took a lot of heat for that, saying like, hey, you know, like they didn't put the money up and things like that. But when it comes down to buildings and real estate and things like that in Philly, it's bigger than just putting dollars and cents up. There's politics involved, is movers and shakers. You got to talk to certain people. There's licenses and permits and all that other stuff. And so you can't just walk in there with a bag of money and say, hey, I want to fix the Blue Horizon. It's a lot deeper than that. Anybody that's in Philly, it's kind of like New York. Like you can't just walk into a place with a bag of money and be like, hey, I want to do this with this building and do that with this building. Like you literally, there's channels you have to go through, and no one actually went through the proper channels. I'm like, there's no way Joe Frazier's gym should not still be there.
A museum.
It's a museum, exactly.
Just the dirty towels would be. I go down there just to look at Joe Frazier's blood on a fucking towel. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah.
I mean, and they just raised it and it's gone now. Oh. Fuck,
and where the gym where they filmed Rocky, they turned that into something else with some apartments on top. So it's just
regentrification, isn't that what they were calling it?
Yeah, gentrification. Yeah,
and you know what? And we can't allow stuff like that to happen, man. You know, we're boxing fans. They don't even want to give us the fights we want to see. You think they're going to give us a fucking museum where they can turn it into a condo and turn it over, make somebody making a quick mill here and there? So I mean, we have to appreciate things while they're here. Try to preserve them, but bro, I can't blow my cool over shit like that. It's things that happened, and you know, I'm sure it's going to happen again. That's the sad part.
And that's definitely the sad part.
Cherish these things while they're here, man. That's the best advice I can give anybody.
Yeah, that's a fact. And the thing now, like the only thing we have in Philly now, the biggest thing now is this, Bozy Ennis gym. That's probably the hottest gym in the city. 2300 arena. That's a pretty good arena in South Philly.
I still got to get to.
Yeah, 2300 arena. Me and Clarence are supposed to have been there like over a year ago, and the way they do their boxing tickets and stuff like that, like they don't have a situation where you can just walk up and just go get tickets. Like they give the tickets to all of the fighters, so you got to get it from one of the fighters. But I'm like, if you don't know the fighters, then you know what I'm saying, you got to wait for them to deliver it, all this other crap. And I'm just like,
that's why I said I got to start getting cool with some of the fighters out there. Some of them I'm cool with. So
Greg Hackett. You can hit up Greg Hackett. There's a bunch of people that I know now that I didn't know back then that I'm comfortable with. So
I want to pull up anyway because the amateur scene in Philly is big. It's big too out there, it's a lot of good amateurs. So I want to come out there for some amateur fights too.
See, I actually Boot Strength and Conditioning coach put up something saying it was like an open sparring in New York.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to find his let me see if I can find his
especially in my gym. My gym, Morris Park in the Bronx. Shout out to my good brother, Super Aaron Man Davis, who runs the gym.
Big shout out to
him. We just had sparring yesterday. Oh man, it was a tragedy.
That's another one of the legends that I had the pleasure of having on my show, Aaron Superman Davis. We talked to
my brother.
Aaron, and I was token up, and he was telling us some stories. And oh, bro, I mean, Clarence,
Aaron's
you know how great these guys are to hook up with and talk to, and they share so much history. It's so relevant to today. I'm sorry, go ahead,
Yeah.
bro.
No, it's all right. You know, I'm gonna say what I love about Aaron the most. It's not even about boxing. On a regular day, he'll take the time to always call me. If he doesn't hear from me, if I don't come to the gym, if he doesn't see me go live, he'll take the time just to call and say, "What's up, man? I ain't heard from you. Everything good? You and the wife is good? When you coming to the gym?" I remember there was days I had no money to even pay my monthly dues to stay in the gym, and I say, "Hey, Aaron, I ain't been coming by. I don't have the money. When I get it, I'll come by and train." First thing Aaron said, "Man, don't worry about that. I'm the boss. Who's gonna tell you that you can't come here and train? Come here and train, man, and
Yeah.
stay for as long as you want. You can stay to the gym close." I love him for that. So you know, Aaron's I'm telling you, he's a great dude, man. But yeah, we got a lot of open sparring here in New York, man. My gym, it's a couple of gyms. Like people need that work. They definitely can come here and get it.
It says 256 Grand Street, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Supposed to be
Yeah. Grant.
actually
Grant.
Saturday at 12. So
Yeah, oh,
I don't know if you wanna
Saturday at 12.
it says
Yeah, I could do that.
it
I'm
said
supposed to be going to a fight.
William Bird.
Yeah, I know what that's at. I was supposed to be going to a fight in Long Island Saturday, but I can't do it. I can't make it. I thought I was gonna be able to, so I'll be at a show Sunday in the Bronx. But yeah, I can make that Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's at
can do that.
12 o'clock. Yeah, it's a open sparring 12 p.m. this Saturday, June 25th, 256 Grand Street, Brooklyn, New York. All pros, elite amateurs, and Jules all weeks welcome.
Yeah,
So that joint probably gonna be crazy because
that joint
what
is gonna be
happens
disrespectful.
what happen a lot of times what happens is Philly guys they have a hard time getting sparring. That Bruce, the amateurs in Philly get ducked. The
Oh,
amateurs in Philly get ducked, so they literally have to take a team and travel to different places just to get good sparring. And so probably
Right.
some of the guys from Philly probably will be there Saturday. But I had a couple people in Bosey's gym. They said their amateurs get ducked a lot because they're just around a bunch of talent. They just
hey,
around a bunch of talent.
who's
Yeah.
who's this in this picture?
How'd you
Hey,
get that picture? How'd you get that picture,
wow.
Bruce?
I do a lot of things behind the scene myself.
Oh shit! I threw that picture up on Instagram. That's
No,
crazy.
no,
Wow.
Trick sent me that, man, with oh shit, man. Who were you guys with that day, man? You were with Louis Del Val
Lou
and
Deville.
Superman
Yeah,
Davis. And
yeah.
Superman Davis.
That's when
And he said,
Trick came
and he
up.
says, you know Clarence McLean? I says, oh yeah, I know Clarence. He says, Clarence came down. He sent me the picture. I says, there it is, bro. Clarence, my brother.
Hey,
I
let me
mean,
tell you something. I was so happy when I saw Trick because I've been talking to him like I'm talking to y'all through social media. So I'm coming from Jersey. And Trick hits me up and he's like, "I'm at the gym. I'm in Morris Park. I'm in New York." And I'm like, "What?" But I forgot he told me he was coming for the Tank Davis and Rolly Romero fight. So I had to come from Manhattan up to the Bronx, and when I got there, I had to give him a hug, man, because like I said, man,
oh,
it felt great, and I was just like so overwhelmed, and I'm like, "You really came?" And he said, "I told you I was coming." He said, "Now you
Trick,
got to come to Texas."
Yeah. Texas got a good scene going on out there too, man. Texas
oh
got a
yeah.
real good
Man,
Boxing,
talent.
it's so much rich boxing around, man. East Coast, West Coast. And if you could if you could get these East Coast, the old school trainers to train some of these guys, that's what Tim was talking about, where he said he could go out, he could go to the West Coast and he could show them a whole new style. Because he's talking from as a boxer and he's saying, and
Right.
they got this style, and they're moving back, and yeah, they're moving back with one punch, but they're leaving themselves open for the follow-up. And he's saying, but I can tell them put the hands up. I mean, he's going on, and I'm like, man, this is wasted talent right here. This guy wants to share these secrets where he could turn some of these young fighters. He could put them 6 grades ahead. They'll be graduating in 2 years instead of 10 years. You know?
Facts. And the thing about it is, if he comes to Philly, like, it's already great trainers in Philly now. Like, you have Boozy, you have Stephen Bradman, you got so many other guys in Philly. Coach Rell is another one. There's so many good trainers in the city. I'm like, if Tim comes here, like, oh my goodness, it's so much young talent. It's almost like it's so much talent here in Philly. There's not enough trainers to give that one-on-one time to these young guys. And that's the difference between having the solid fighters and having the great ones. So you take all of the great ones have that one trainer that's just been in a life just through and through. Like, you take Andre Ward, Virgil Hunter. You know what I'm saying? Even Tyson back in the day, Custom Auto. Like, it's just it's bigger than just a trainer fighter. It's literally, I'm in your life every single day, and we're gonna mold you and develop you not only as a fighter but as a man as well. I mean, you even take Floyd Senior, Floyd Roger, like, they're around him every single day, and I'm like, you're not gonna get better unless you have a trainer like that's going to take that one-on-one time. And you see guys now, man, I'm not a big fan of Ryan Garcia, but you see he left Reynoso because he was like, hey, he's not giving me enough time. Frank Sanchez, same thing. He was like, he's not giving me enough time. And I'm like, all the great coaches shouldn't have 20, 30 people in the stable. It makes no sense. I'm like, fighters need one-on-one. They need one-on-one. Like, you can't have a gym full of 30 people and you running pads with 30 different fighters. Like,
I don't know. It sounds like you're saying it sounds ridiculous. But see, if you can get that special talent with a special trainer, that's when you have a superstar. It's almost like that Venus is circling. It's going to cover Mars on that certain time, only once in a lifetime. And that's where I can see somebody like Tim. And another thing, I think a lot of people are a little standoffish where 2-time heavyweight champ is going to come train. It's almost like when Rocky went back to the gym after fighting Apollo Creed, and he had to dump the spit bucket. And, oh, no, Rock, you're a royalty around here. We don't want to see you doing that. And he's like, and I just want to get back in the game. And I think that's where Tim's at. But I think people look at him like, this guy wants to train my fighters. I mean, dude, that's just, I should be paying homage to him. You know what I'm saying, man? And I told him that, and he's like, I never thought of that, but it just seems to make a lot of sense to me.
Bro, they were welcome.
He's offering himself out there. He offered himself to Anthony Joshua, and Anthony just said, I got a full camp right now. But, and I don't know if he was like put back a little bit by it, but that's the thing. He just doesn't. I don't know if it's the confidence to reach out, or people who are standoffish to go after the 2-time heavyweight champion. But he has such a talent for training, and he wants to do it. And I told him, I said, Tim, I'm going to do everything I can to hook you up with some amateur federations or professional federations or people who have a lot more than I do. Because I have absolutely no, very, very little contact with somebody like you in the gyms. And he's ready. He'll run to the gym if he has to. He's like a kid right now, man. You can hear it in his voice, and he just wants to pass on this knowledge. And if he can make a buck or two doing it, because Tim needs dough too. He got fucked by Don King, man. Oh,
Don King he put the screws to everybody.
Fucked him over twice, more than that. I mean, when he went to fight Frank Bruno in England, you know how much money Tim made from that fight? This is not from the books or anything. He had $65,000. That's it. The heavyweight champion of the world goes to England, defends his title. After Don King got his, Carl King got his, expenses, hotel, flights, Tim gets $65,000, and he's still got to pay his fucking corner. He's still got to pay his, his people.
and
Hey,
then
truth be
taxes and
told, Don
everything
King
else.
would charge you. Don King would charge you for towels.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so bizarre. And if anybody told me, I'd say, nah, that's shit. Tim told me this out of his mouth, and he's not bitter about it. He's glad that he's not with Don King. He
I
looks at it like a lesson learned. His mother's a minister. He's spoken to his mother. He talks to his mother a lot, and he just wants to get involved in boxing again. His son has a gym, I think, somewhere in New Jersey, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know him that well, but he wants to get involved at the
I
professional
think
level.
Bruce. I think part of it is just people just knowing what he's trying to do. So I think if he put, because if you didn't tell me that, I wouldn't have known that. You know what I mean? And I think
Well,
part
you know
of
what I'm
part
going
of
to do?
the
I'm going to share this right now on Twitter, so that way more people can get this, get this information. And this was so much fun, Jeff. Talking up here,
bro.
bro. I mean, dude,
I
this was a
listen.
blast, man.
And it's crazy because it's like you have people. I'm like, so I didn't know much about like Drew and like Tate Jones, guys like that. And it's just I be so busy, like I don't be having the time to really sit down and focus on a lot of people. So and people be like, yo, like who you listen to? So I'm giving them, oh yeah, go check out my guy Bruce, Clarence McLean, underrated. And I'm just running off names. I'm like Boxing Lowdown, Lori out the UK. So I'm not running the traditional heavy hitters that you people usually say, and they like, well, who is these dudes? I'm like, go check them out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go check them out. I'm like, they different. I'm like, they difference makers, and I'm like, it's boxing is a brotherhood on so many levels.
It is, man.
I'm like, you get a chance to sit and actually talk boxing with somebody, and I'm like, it kind of takes away everything else. Whatever
Yeah, it
else is
does.
going
Man.
on.
I go to Drew's. I love Drew. I love going there. Some cats in there don't like me, bro. But hey, that's just the way it is, man.
That's
I love
cool.
boxing,
That's
and
life.
I don't give a fuck if you don't like me or anything. There's nobody out there that I have any fucking hatred for.
Yeah.
Some people I don't care for, but that's just opinions.
But
But bro,
what kills
I
me,
mean,
Bruce? They don't have no reason not to
well, it doesn't even matter how anybody feels out there. It's just that this brotherhood for boxing, because we all love boxing and we all connect on some level. And if we can keep it boxing, man, it just this is what I want to do. And YouTube is so popular. I go to people on the corner. They're all on YouTube. Everybody, they don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah, I saw it on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. You got a channel? Yeah, I'll check you out. I'll give you. It's like YouTube is huge right now, man.
Bro, it didn't hit me until I was outside of Boozy's gym. I was probably about a half a block away. And this kid, he had been maybe like 14, 15. And he says, he's like, yo, five. So I'm like, I hear it, but it's not, it's not registering. So I turn around. He said, yo, what's up? He's like, you ain't hear me? I was like, I heard you, but I didn't like. And he was like, yo, you cover boxing, right? And I'm like, yeah. He like, you about to go in the gym? I'm like, yeah. He like, yeah, I'm about to go in there too. Come on, let's talk. And this is all from YouTube. Like, it don't hit you until you walk into a gym or you walk into, you walk into somewhere and they say, hey, I know you.
Yeah. Isn't that's just such a cool feeling,
Bro,
I got a crazy one for you. I was at a show one day, and this woman came up to me, and she was like, she said, Clarence. I said, yeah. She says, you have this podcast on Instagram called the No Doug Zone. My son told me about it or whatever. I have two sons. I have one son that fights. You never interviewed him, but you know him. He follows you. Then I have my 8-year-old son. Okay, cool. So the 8-year-old boy, he comes over or whatever, and was like, he was just so happy about what I do, and he likes the whole duck thing. He doesn't know much about boxing. He knows his brother fights, and that's it. But he's so happy about it. The next thing he said to me blew my mind. He's like, he wanted an autograph. Can't make this up. So he took his hat off and wanted me to sign it. And I'm stuck with this look. Like he must got me mistaken for somebody.
Yeah,
I'm not a
yeah,
star. I'm not a
yeah,
star.
yeah.
I'm like, this is crazy, but what can I do? So when he took it off, I signed it, gave it to him. So his mother says, well, give me the hat so I can put it up. He was like, no, Ma, I'm not giving you the hat. I'm never wearing this hat again. I'm putting this hat up on my dresser when I get home. And he thanked me. And that just blew my mind. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
You don't know who you. I. That's the one thing I tell. I tell Shane. I tell everybody else. I'm like, yo. I'm like, you don't know. You don't know who's listening. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who life you affecting. When you get on this camera, and I'm like, when you got that, Bruce. I know I told you this a long time ago. I'm like, yo. I'm like, you got that microphone. Be responsible with it. Be responsible with that microphone. There's a lot of people out here that's not responsible with the microphone when they get it. And you know, we're in the minority. Like we're really in the minority when it comes down to covering the sport, how it's being covered. Boxing is so much bigger than the top 15 guys in the world. Like it's so much bigger than Spence Crawford. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like we sit up here talking about Tim Witherspoon and him getting exposure on him wanting to train fighters. So I'm like, now I'm not thinking about Beterbiev and Joe Smith. I ain't think about that. I'm like, yo, we got to get Tim Smith some talent. We got to get him some talent because there's so much talent out here. Philly, Jersey, New York. There's no reason why Tim Witherspoon shouldn't have a stable of fighters. He should have a stable.
And think about it. How it would be just too bizarre to see Tim Witherspoon actually walk in a gym and say, "I want to train some fighters." People would just be, "Nah, this is April Fools." You know, where's the cameras? This is somebody's pranking me over here. That's why it's up to people like us to get the word out, to have people contact him where it's serious, it's real shit. And man, I can, you saw how much valuable shit he has with defense. And man, I mean, all they have to do is go watch some of his old fights. And
hey, I in terms of defensive prowess, he's for me he's top five for me in terms of revolutionizing defense in the sport of boxing, and he's up there with James Toney. I felt like him. James Toney, they were next level. They were ahead of their time, at least 10 years ahead of their time, with in terms of what they were doing defensively and what they were doing offensively off of the defense. Transitioning from defense to offense, I'm like, you can teach that, but I'm like, some people just born with it. Some people are born with it. And I'm like, Tim is one of the few guys, and we haven't seen a heavyweight do that in a long time. Like, that defensive prowess, and you know how far he can take guys with that defensive knowledge right now. Yeah. Like I'm ready to throw a whole campaign for him. I'm ready to throw a whole campaign for him. Because I'm
me look at some old tapes. I'm gonna look at some old fights right now.
See, you got people, and we're not just talking just professionals or whatever the case may be. You got that 13-year-old kid that's in the gym and they got dreams and aspirations, and they know how their parents know how dirty the boxing game is. It's very hard to point at a person and say, you know what? I know my son is in good hands with that guy. You could point at Tim and be like, yo, your son is going to be good with that guy.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get that in the sport of boxing. It is hard to get that in the sport of boxing when you can point at a guy and be like, yo, he's in good hands. And fortunately, there's guys in New York that's in the gyms, and you know you're in good hands. In Philly, there's a lot of good guys in Philly that are doing a lot of good things, and you can point and be like, hey, like, you're in good hands with this person. And we grew up in that Don King era where Don King is just doing whatever he wants and things like that. But it's a lot of quality people that are actually in the sport that's doing a lot of great things. And a lot of times they don't get highlighted. I'm like, whenever we can get somebody that's a good wealth of knowledge and then a good person on top of that to actually get them to, get them in the game. Like, how valuable a Tim Witherspoon would be to like a 16-year-old? A 16-year-old kid or a kid that's just and he probably want to get them like right before they turn pro. Like, imagine Tim get somebody like right before they turn pro and he get to work with them consistently for like a year and a half. They coming in probably so ahead of the game. Like, it's crazy. I support that idea 100%. And there's too many fighters out here for him not to get it.
Jeff, can we share a screen? I want to show you something. It's 2 minutes. And my friend Punch Drunk Boxing. His name is Greg Towns. He's a boxer from Rhode Island, and this is his YouTube. And he told me I can show it anytime, anywhere, bro.
Go ahead.
This is going to be so much fun, bro. If this doesn't bring a smile to your face, bro, then you ain't a fan of boxing, man.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, sir. Hold on.
Bring it up, bro. Check this out.
I got you.
It looks like Junior Jones in the house. Man, what's up, man, boy? I didn't know you was here today, man. We got Junior Jones right. You sitting next to a man, Lou Severese over here. What's up, Lou? All right. Severese over here. We got Iran Barkley over here.
Iran Barkley.
Look.
All right. We got on this side
Larry Holmes.
Oh yeah, Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney, of course.
Jerry Cooney.
Ray Mercer's in the house.
Mercer.
Willis go with him. Listen, you know how that turns. He was waiting for you.
Oh man.
Mitch Blood Green.
Mitch Blood Green. Wow.
Round base in the house. All right, baby boy. All right. There goes Mitch in the house. All right, good stuff.
That is nostalgia at its finest. Oh my gosh.
You got Chuck Boxing Media Incorporated.
Another 4 hours.
Right to Marino Ray. Marino Ray in Bronx, New York. I used to mix up with them. Here we are, Friends of the Champ, Iran Barkley's foundation. Got some footage. What's up, Champ? We got Lamont White right here. Minnesota Vikings. As you see, there's a lot of people here having a good time. Network. Punching bag, Stuck Boxing Media Incorporated, where you get the best on boxing.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd have lost my.
Shout out to my bro Greg Towns, man. Punch Skunk Boxing, Greg. We're using this for educational purposes only. No copyright intentions. No copyright intention intended. You know how it is, my brother.
Yes,
Peace,
sir.
Bro, wasn't that cool as hell,
bro? I couldn't have been at a place like that, man, because I would have forgot that I was media.
Well,
I swear.
They told me there's one coming up. There's one coming up in Eastern Pennsylvania. Larry Holmes is doing it, and I'll let. It's real soon. It's within a month or so. I just got word of it the other day, and Greg told me. I said, Greg, make sure you get into. Don't you worry, Bruce. I'm gonna get in touch with you. I'm gonna let you know exactly when it is and where it is.
No, let's line that up. Let's line that up.
Bruce, I'm gonna put my number in the private chat, Bruce. All right.
Well, bro. I'm gonna find
you know
out
what,
where it is.
Bruce, I can send it to him on I can send it to him on Twitter.
Yeah, send it to
him.
I'll call Greg within a couple of days and get the specifics. But he was mentioning this, and I said, bro, you got to let me know when these events happen. And he goes, my brother, for sure, bro, because he knows what I love. And I mean, like that thing they just had there that was in the Bronx, that was 2 weeks ago. And I said, let me know if there's ever an event like that. And he that's when he said that Larry Holmes, they're going to do something over there. And
bro, I would have lost. Bro,
G5, you gotta go.
I'd have lost my marbles, bro. I literally, bro. Listen, I literally
you don't have to say it. I know.
when I met, bro, I'm gonna tell you how bad it is. When I was at the meet and greet with Beterbiev, so it was me, it was YSM, T Street Controversy was there, a couple people. I'm like, I waited in line. I got a signed poster. I got a picture, all that. And I had somebody, they was like, yo, you media, you not supposed to be like fraternizing with the fighters. I was like, I said, I'm a fan first. I said, I'm a diehard first. I said, I'm a media person second. So I'm like, when I see these dudes, I'm pulling up as a diehard. And then whatever media wise after that, cool. If I was in that set, I would have forgot about my camera.
Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney eating together. Alberto Duran.
What?
And bro, I got other things from that. Iran Barkley goes and buys a Snickers bar, and he's bitching. He just paid $2 for a Snickers bar. It's like, so he goes, I don't believe they just robbed me. It's so fucking
yo, Iran Barkley. But Iran Barkley is the epitome of, like, you don't have to have the greatest talent in the world, but if you a bull, oh my goodness. I talked to Michael Nunn. He was like, yo, that's the toughest fight I ever had in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
how about his sister? I saw a picture of his sister, and his sister looks tougher than he does, bro.
For real?
For real.
Oh, man.
I mean, this is going back 30 years, but I mean, she was running with she was. I think she gave him the name the Blade because she took the knife off of him. So I don't know, bro, and seeing him there and with Roberto Duran, man, when Roberto, you just want to hug Roberto Duran.
Yeah,
he's just.
It's crazy because it's like Roberto Duran is such a great fighter, and I just hate when people bring up the one bad moment or the one questionable moment, and I'm like, yo, his career is so much. I said his career is so much bigger.
He made up for it when he came back and knocked out Davey Moore.
Facts, 100% facts. Like I'm just like, yo, like, but it's boxing is such it's people that are not hardcores, people that are not diehards. They can be so cruel. They can literally be so cruel towards fighters, and I'm like, yo, like, if a dude take a loss, it's not the end of their career. They get knocked out, it's not the end of their career. I'm like, yo, like, yeah, I'm like, y'all act like
who really leaves boxing with an O? I mean, bro, Floyd because he cherry picked his way to it. Rocky Marciano because he was just in an era where he fought the right fighters at the right time. You know, look at the classic example. Thomas Hearns fights Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard's got the L from Duran. We forgive you. Thomas Hearns gets that L. Did that hurt his career? Bro, he blossomed. 5 world titles, man. 5 different divisions. I mean, fuck that. These fighters today, they're so afraid of that L. But you look at a top 10 in almost any division, and they're all 14-0, 18-0, 20. But they haven't fought each other. How do they get ready? Because I look at their records and, bro, I think I know a little boxing, but these names are so obscure. You know, where do these guys come from? And then I'll click their record on BoxRec, and it's like after 0-6 they retired, no photo available. You know?
Yeah, I mean it's really crazy, like, nowadays, and people get it twisted. They like, oh, well, yeah. I'm like, yeah, boxing is in an okay spot right now because you're getting important fights. You're getting unifications and things like that. You think of the last couple unifications, guys are 7-1 favorites, 8-1 favorites, and these are unification fights. But Beterbiev was like a 7-1 favorite. Like, you take Shakur when he fought Jamel Herring, he was a 10-1 favorite. Even though it was a unification fight, it's important. This is what we like to see, but it's still a guy that's 10-1. 10-1. Very few times do you see a 50-50 fight with 2 guys like basically in their prime. And I'm like, still one of my favorite series to watch is Showbox. Showbox is still one of my favorite series to watch. Is young pups, undefeated or 1 loss, and this is the fight. You either gonna win and you gonna get up to the next level, or you gonna lose and you gotta grind to get back up.
Showbox.
Showbox, but that's the closest thing to Tuesday night fights as we gonna get.
Yeah.
Well, you know what boxing needs. They need. When I remember this fight card. It was in 1980, and there were 4 fights on the card. It was from 4 different arenas. The opening match was I think it was Sugar Ray Leonard, and is one of his first defenses against Davey Boy Green in Landover, Maryland. Unbelievable left hook, boom! It was like, wow, can it get any better? Then they went to, I think they went to Indianapolis. I think it was Marvin Johnson and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Eddie Mustafa wins another light heavyweight title, and then they went to Memphis, Tennessee to see John Tate and Mike Weaver. I mean, a fight that everybody still talks about to this day.
Yeah.
Left hook from nowhere. Weaver's getting his ass kicked for 15 rounds. And then the main event was like anticlimactic, but they went to Colorado. Larry Holmes fought Leroy Jones. But the whole fucking thing was on prime time, free television, and it just got boxing so popular when they did things like that. And that's what made it so big. I mean, it was in your living room. Your mother's listening to it. Your father, everybody. That was what was on the tube. But they don't realize. And after that, it just made boxing so big. There was the birth of the pay-per-views. They had, the Cooney Holmes and Leonard and Hearns, all these major mega fights. But yet they staged this huge fight and sponsorship. That's what boxing needs, is real corporate sponsorship, so they can do things like this. I don't know if they'll ever go over free TV again, because most people don't have over-the-air television. But you know what I'm saying, man? I don't think it's being promoted correctly right now. They're giving us 9-1 on a unification, and I mean, it's just not exciting anymore. There's no interest there.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I think the business of boxing is really just and it's beyond the promoter. Everybody talks, oh well, Al Heyman, Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn, and I'm like, it's way bigger than that, because I'm like, you got a lot of these young kids, they signed to managers, and they might be having money troubles, things like that. See, this, guys that have managers and things like that. Manager be like, all right, listen, cool, I'll give you 10,000 right now, but it's gonna cost you. It's almost like a loan shark. A lot of these managers are like loan sharks, and this is stuff that people don't talk about, when it comes down to the sport of boxing. But I'm like, we can't get this kid in the ring in peak condition, physically, mentally, and emotionally, if he don't know where his next bill money is going to come from. But people don't tap into that part of the game, and you wonder why a kid steps in the ring, top prospect, and he comes in and he just looks like dog shit. He just looked like shit inside the ring, and you like, why? Why?
He's got this one threatening with litigation. This one threatening his license will be suspended for 1 year if he doesn't follow his contract. I mean, there's so much bullshit. And you're right. A fighter should be tunnel vision. Him and his trainer, I mean, they should be running. You know what a boxer goes through. And how can you do this when you're worrying about you might lose your apartment, you might not get, you might have a huge fine to pay, you may be suspended, you've got cease and desist letters thrown at you. It's fucking crazy in this world today,
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's crooked. It's real crooked. I know a fighter personally that was having like money trouble and things like that. It was like a couple years ago, and they literally took a certain amount of money from a guy, and he was getting like a lot of his purse for maybe about 6 or 7 fights, and the amount of money that he gave his kid versus the amount of money that he gave back, I'm like, yo, that's criminal. I was like, it's criminal. Like it's like, but you don't know a fighter, any person, it don't matter if it's a fighter or not. I'm like, when somebody is at the end of their financial rope And you like, how can a person agree to that type of deal? How can that person agree to that type of situation? And you like, they're trying to get to the next minute. They're not worried about a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now. They trying to get, if it's 7 o'clock, they trying to get to 8:30. They're trying to get to 8:30. That's why I don't ever knock a person that signs a bad deal. I'm like, I'm looking at the person that actually offered the deal to him. I'm like, your soul is the one that got to get checked. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but I'm like, this is why I'm like, when I got on today, I was like, I didn't know I was going to see C today. I didn't know I was going to see you on camera today. And I'm like, it was for a reason. Because I'm like, you take a guy like Tim. And I'm like, any good guy you can get into the sport of boxing. I'm like, you kick whatever door down you got to kick to get them in. And I'm like, that's one person where you be like, if you got somebody like Tim in your crew and that kid is in a scenario like that, Tim's going to be like, nah, don't do that. Because he had those Don King experiences where, you know, and like you said, he's not dwelling on it and things like that, but it's knowledge.
That's just one of the many, many values that he offers. You're not even going into the ring with his skills, but those business skills where he's been fucked. He knows you don't go near there. That's a trap, man. You don't fucking deal with that kind of a character. I mean, he's the kind of a guy who will keep you on a straight and narrow just by the way that I could tell by dealing with him on a couple of occasions, the way he lives. And, you know, he knows that he's been burnt. He's still friendly, loving, but he is leery at first, you know. Even his manager said, you know, he saw you, white guy out there, and you know, he didn't know what you were after. He didn't know if you were looking for something, but then the more he listened to you and the more he talked to you, you know, he trusts you now. So that's why he was so open with me. And really that's what it's about. But you have to earn, I guess you have to earn the trust. I don't know if I ever earned it, but you know, people are always trying to, he's been fucked over so many times, and he's an easy target, you know. Easygoing guy, you know. He was swayed with the offer of big bucks that never came, and just a real sad situation. But there's still, he's got so much to offer, and he's got so much energy in him where he would be such a good fucking trainer, man. Oh, I couldn't even imagine how much better he'd get. He'd get his team.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, it's too many fighters and not enough trainers. I mean, that's just, I mean, see, you're in the gym all the time with amateur fighters and things like that, and it's like it might be 30 something people in the gym and there's only 2 trainers. You know what I mean? Like there's only 2 trainers, 3 trainers, and we in boxing is not only like, you know, it's a business, but you have to groom these young men to actually maximize their opportunity just to survive out here beyond the sport of boxing. If they can't survive outside the sport of boxing, they don't make it to the ring. They don't make it. They don't make it there. There's so many kids out here now that's like, I can't go to the gym because I can't afford the dues. There's guys that's out here fighting for. This guy's out here fighting. Bruce, this guy's out here fighting for $1,000. They a 4-round fight, $1,000, $1,200. What's somebody gonna do with that? And then they have to lean. So Bruce, this goes back to what you said as far as sponsorships and things like that. And I'm like, I'm not a big social media person, even though we should be, but I'm just not. You can literally have 10,000 people on your Instagram, right? And we're in a day and age where a fighter can have 10,000 people on their Instagram and they making $1,500 for a 4-round fight. I'm like, in reality, I'm like, if all of those people are people that you know that are followers of yours, I'm like, if each person donated $1, your fighter is going to be able to go into the ring fully focused, going to be able to make other moves so they can actually fully focus on the sport of boxing. I'm like, the majority of the people that are in boxing are not full-time. They're not full-time because they can't afford to be. They can't afford to be. I'm like, sponsorship is basically, yeah, we're gonna put your logo on the shorts, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Yes, all of that sounds good. At the end of the day, I'm like, you are literally sponsoring a fighter with your dollars.
Yeah.
You're sponsoring a fighter with your dollars. So I'm like,
you know, unfortunately, it's a business. You know,
thanks.
it's not the boys club YMCA. You know, they're going to try to pay you the least amount of money they can, and that's
Thanks.
where you need representatives to work for you. So you don't have to deal with this bullshit because it's ultimately a business and sad. But that's why boxing will never be, you know, like my brother on over my shoulder here, man. You know, you're not going to see guys like that anymore because it's there. Boxing's not the same business anymore. Boxing, that was then. This is now.
Hey Bruce, I literally remember watching an interview with Marvin Hagler, and the reporter literally asked the man, like, this is before the Tommy Hearns fight, and he literally asked him, he said, well, are you going to take it? He said, are you going to take the fight before the end of the year? Are you going to save it for next year because you don't want to run into no tax issues? He's live on TV. It asked that man that question, and I'm like, I've always been taught, I'm like, if you're not gonna say it to that man's face, then don't say it.
Wow.
And I'm like, of course it was via satellite, you know, Hagler was somewhere else. And he took it well, like he just kind of ignored it and just got to talking about, you know, like Tommy Hearns and all that. And it's just like, you don't have enough people in the sport of boxing to tell these kids like, hey, that's not a good move, because everybody's trying to take advantage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's trying to take advantage. I'm like, so when you go on the No Duck Zone podcast, these amateurs, they know like Clarence is not in it to get over on them. I'm like, what is he getting over on? Nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You go to Bruce Gas channel, what is he getting off on? Nothing. Like me, same thing. I'm like, no. Like, we're into the sport, and I'm like, the thing with this sport, I'm like, it takes kids. The most important thing, these gyms, takes these kids out of these bad neighborhoods, gives them structure, things like that, education, physically fit. It don't matter if they end up being good, great, average, bad, whatever. If they're in the gym and they basically growing up in the gym, more than likely, I'm like, they're gonna be physically fit. They should have some type of structure to them. You know what I'm saying? Which is the reason why that person should be successful, somewhat successful, when they step outside of that gym. Like, and all the more productive people we can get, the more productive men we can get in this world, the better off we gonna be. So I'm like, a lot of times it'd be bigger than just boxing. Like, boxing literally develops men.
It makes men.
Yes.
It shows you where to harness your aggressions, where you let that go out and where you don't let that go out, and how you respect people, and you open the door for women, and you know you kiss your mother every day. I mean, bro, I've never seen a boxer who takes it seriously do anything but improve themselves as a man, as a human being. You know, it comes down to discipline, training, dedication, respect, and bro, that's how much more do you need in life to get by than the structure of a boxing environment, bro.
Facts, 100% facts, man. But listen, I'm not gonna hold y'all up no more, man. We're gonna close this thing out, man. 2 hours and 20 minutes
fun, bro.
Too much fun, man. Bruce, is an absolute pleasure, man. Give him your social media, your channel, and all that, man.
Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more, bro. And anybody wants to hit me up, I'm Tuesday nights from 7 to 9. I do Tuesday night fights with George Jakovic, G5 Gabe.
That's my guy right there, G5 Gabe. Big shout out to him.
And I do it with George Jakovic, Matt Chad, and G5 Gabe. And we try to get a fighter on there when we can. If not, you know, this week we're going to talk about the 154-pound division. Some of the great fights we saw with McCallum, Terry Norris. Oh, bro, I mean, it's such a rich history there. And anybody want to stop in, I appreciate it. I'm a young channel, and I'm just growing. If you can come over there and give me a sub and, you know, join in. And, you know, I talk about boxing. I talk about jazz. I talk about health and nutrition. talk a little bit about professional wrestling when something's going on, and I talk about the fine herbs. So appreciate if you join me, my brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. See, give them your social media, good brother.
Yeah. So already y'all can catch me on IG, Clarence McLean. You can check the No Doug Zone podcast, which surely it will be moving to YouTube. So please check that out, man. Y'all do not want to miss it, man. And shout out to all my amateurs out there that's out there grinding, man, trying to be something. And also you can catch me on Facebook, Clarence McLean. Tap into McLean's promotion because that's getting ready to take off. And like I said, I want to thank my brother G for finally getting me up here. I feel like it's a special day today.
Hey, man. That's my guy right there, man. Clarence McLean, man. And it takes a different type of cat to actually embrace the amateur market. You know what I mean? And I told you that first time I talked to you, because I'm like, you don't know where the result's gonna come from. No. You know what I mean? You don't know where the result is gonna come from, man. So the fact that you're embracing the amateur market and things like that, man, like it's like next level. So definitely go follow my man Clarence McLean, man, on all platforms. No Duck Zone podcast, one of the hottest podcasts in the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not in there, you're missing out. You always got guests and just
also I want to bring up too. I know it's not next year and it's 2022, but I have to bring it up now because this was supposed to happen this year, but the timing was off. So next year, in August, there will be a No Doug Zone back to school cookout in August of 2023. I'm gonna wait to get a date. When I get a date, of course, Jeff, I'll pass it to you. And you can let everybody know. But it'll be going down August of next year. So please, if you're from Philly, Jersey, DC, Connecticut, anywhere in that area, you're more than welcome to come up. As long as you behave, everybody's there. Because we can't have we can't have no ratchet stuff going on. Yeah, we can't have no ratchet stuff going on with the kids there. Because at the end of the day, it's about the kids. So
absolutely. Let me run through these last few before we get up out of here, man. Let me see. I missed a whole bunch. Drew said, I know a lot, but I don't know everything. I love the sport and I love to hear what everyone has to say. Appreciate you, Drew. Southgate for sure is like putting an onion in a pan. You got to chop it up first, break it down. That's the facts. L Dub, the plugs in the building.
What up?
Andre Southgate, great interview. He's talking about them. John Boyd Belton, what's going on, bro? He said, I'm in Louisiana eating dinner, enjoying this story. Appreciate you, bro. For sure, Campbell said no answers. Has to be long periods of drills with fast movement. Let's see. This is Bruce. Bruce Jazz, Boxing Jazz, and more. Link to his social media. To his YouTube channel. Definitely go check that out. I'm gonna put that in the description of this podcast as well. So definitely go check that out. Definitely go subscribe. Said Clarence and G5 Jeff the best, man. We appreciate you, good brother. And Shanette James, big shout out to Shanette James. Said all three of my kids grew up in the boxing gym and it makes a big difference. You can see the difference. Yeah,
Shanette. Yeah, she one of my friends I follow. We follow each other on Facebook. Yeah, what up, Shanette?
Yeah,
definitely, man. Yo, what's so crazy? The other day before you go, so watching Drew Titan, and he brings your name up on there, right? And he was like, I don't know the brother because he started it off was like, yeah, because this brother from Philly, and I'm like, well, who is he talking about? So then your name come up, so I'm in the comment section. I'm like, oh, I said, yo, that's my guy, Drew. I'm like, nah, he's official. So he was like, he's official. I said, nah, he's official. I said, that's my guy right there. I'm like, you hooking up with the right person.
Yeah, Drew is crazy because I'm like, you just don't know. And I made a phone call about Drew because I didn't know much about Drew. I didn't know you knew him. If I'd have knew that, I'd have called him. But I hit my man Stay Ready up. I hit my man Stay Ready Boxing up out of Texas. So I said, yo, fam. I said, yo, I had a guy named Drew Titan reach out to me. I was like, I know that you know him. I was just like, All I need to know is he official business. I said, if he official business, that's all I need to know.
I never met Drew in person, and me and Drew both from the Bronx. That's what's so crazy. But Drew is actually, let's just put it like this. He knows some official people that I know. I don't know if he knows that. But when I went to his Facebook page, his big Facebook friends, and I looked at some of the people he know, he's connected with some people I know that's some real people. So it's like, yo, that's crazy.
And the thing was, my guy stayed ready. He said, nah. He said, yeah, Drew. He said, nah, Drew official. Like, official. Like, you know what I'm saying? You go ahead and go reach out. You know what I'm saying? But man, this joint was absolutely crazy, man. Bro, I don't know if you're busy in like an hour. I'm gonna hit you up in like an hour. We need to chop it up.
I'm not doing. When I get off here, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I get off here, all I do is I edit videos for these amateurs. I got some interviews to do. Not tonight, but I just edit. All I do is boxing. If I ain't spending it with the wife, that's all I dedicate my life to that, bro. That's what keeps me off these streets.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. So I'll call you in about an hour, man. But listen, on behalf of Clarence McClain and No Ducks On Podcast, my guy Bruce Cass, VP Shane, Boxing First Vlog, man. This was a great episode, man. This was a great episode. Episode 106 of the Goodfellas Podcast, man. So on behalf of the staff, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right.
All right, bro. I'll meet you up in an hour, bro.